Wake up, gamers, because you're in the Big Think Dimension, the first gaming podcast to self-isolate and sound good. Featuring KZ Excellent.
Hey, you want some bumber hootin'?
Dan and Bob Video Game.
You see that mountain? Master Chief has to ride an elevator to get up that mountain. Oh no!
And Mr. Field.
Have you heard of Morphogenetic Field?
Here on GigaBoots.
Bob and I played Resident Evil 7 and 6 through since the last podcast. Don't.
What, on neither of those?
7's okay. For me and Bob, it was rough because we played all the way up to the really good stuff kept happening. So when we came back and finished it for the stream, there was about 40 minutes of good stuff and then the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was unexpected. I would still recommend playing that game, but
It's
oh
rough.
man, that
Yeah, because I do plan on going through it
I wouldn't recommend going through 6.
so I can prime myself on Ethan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, six seems not a nightmare.
Yeah, it's just it's so
Oh
bad.
yeah, giraffe blowjobs.
but it let us play a lot of Mercenaries mode. That was fun.
Mercenaries mode is really great. You can get that with a better game though. Go get 5.
Yes.
5 is a resoundingly better game than Resident Evil 6.
Either 8 or the 4 remake is gonna have Mercenaries back.
Yeah, I'm sure 4 remake is gonna have that and also be more my thing. Very excited for 8 though. Definitely why we wanted to go through these games. Resident Evil 6 probably should have charged a higher price for that stream. Weirdly enough, that was
Oh no.
brutally bad.
even on the easiest difficulty where we killed everything incredibly fast, that thing still took like 18 hours or something insane.
Yeah, it's a chunk of a game. It has, for people who don't know, 4 different campaigns, 3 of which are teams of 2, another of which is Ada Wong. All of them intersect terribly. Leon's is the absolute worst. In Ada, you have to replay a chunk of Leon's.
Like 2 large chunks. Ada's
Like 2/5 of it is literally Leon's campaign. It's really dire. The writing is absolute garbage. There's a lot of contrived. We hate each other for some reason, despite not knowing each other. I care about thing for this one scene that doesn't make any sense with my character, just so I can clash with other character. Yeah, it's truly terrible. I would describe all the plot problems and nightmares thereof, but that would spoil the shit out of the game for anyone who wanted to play it, which you shouldn't, honestly. Do not play Resident Evil 6. The Mercenaries mode, really good. Do not play Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 7, I was still pretty disappointed by. As we were playing through these, though, somebody in chat said, hey, Resident Evil 6 was a 6. Resident Evil 7's a 7. Huh? Resident Evil 8 might be an 8. And I'm just like, God damn it, chat.
It's funny because that would be a downgrade from those other 2 remakes, which were astounding.
Yeah, no, 2 remake and 3 remake are still unbelievably amazing. Those are some of the best in the entire franchise. Highly
Every time I
recommended.
think about 2, I think about playing 2 again.
That's me in 3.
I'm like, it's not that long.
Where I'm just like, oh, if I play 3, I can get that rocket launcher.
What am I doing? I still haven't played through the other campaign on 2.
Yeah, we need to do that at some
Jesus.
point. Yeah, we got busy as hell. We got busy as hell last year. It sucked so bad.
Or I
At
guess-
least you know it exists, unlike the IGN reviewer.
Yeah, I played.
Said there's no difference between the 2 characters at all because they did Leon and Claire A.
Yeah, 1, I'm literate. That puts me ahead of most journalists. 2, I played a game called Resident Evil 2 on the PS1, so I'm very aware.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very excited to finish out 2 and then do multiple senseless runs on 3 so I can be the strongest person in the world. Mercenary mode 6, really good, really good. But outside of that, don't even fucking touch that game, man. Don't do it. Bad idea. But that's about all I've played. Because tomorrow, relative to this recording, of course, the Super Mario 3D All Stars collection is gonna come out.
Wahoo! Yahoo Mario.
They are fixing a lot of things with Sunshine on a HUD level, on a graphical level. So it's kind of fucked up that the limited time release of Sunshine is a significantly better version of Sunshine.
I like how they had to cut scenes due to like Flood going, you have to press the Z button or the L button, so they have to go press the button. They just have to cut that part of the line.
Oh, that's
They didn't
rough.
record anything new, so they have stuff like that. Or when it says go, instead of the normal beep the game had, it's a sensor beep they found online.
Weird.
Still excited for it. I just thought some of that stuff, I'm like, holy shit, this is cheap.
Yeah, no, it's cheap. They definitely didn't improve things enough. Like,
Yeah.
man, Sunshine at 60 frames per second would have been really great, but nope.
That would require trying.
Whatever. I want some more Mario games on this machine, so sure, I'll let you shake my nuts.
Yeah, but that's all I've been playing. Been a little busy with other stuff. Hey, Bob,
Hey,
what have you been playing?
that was most of my week as well. I played a tiny bit of Ultra Kill because one of our viewers gifted it to me on Steam.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I got to play a little bit more than the demo that they released a few months back. That game's still a lot of fun. It's like a really fast first-person shooter that's arcade style, kind of like Quake and stuff, where it's just absurdly fast-paced. And
Yeah.
they call the website for it Devil May
Quake.
Doom or Devil May Quake. That's it.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this the one with the style in it?
Yeah, you get the style meter, so if you mix up your weapons and mix up what kind of kills you do, like doing headshots or limb shots to kill them, you get more points. In the demo, I only got to use two guns, the pistol and the shotgun, and then this one also, I found the nail gun, which is like this Gatling gun.
Ooh.
And you get, it's alt fire, it lets you shoot out a magnet, and then the nails just spin around the magnet. So you can shoot out like two magnets, and the nails will be spinning between the two of them, and it just makes your combo go up ridiculously. I don't know how this is balanced. As soon as I got this, I was getting nothing but S's. It's really cool, though. So that seems neat. I want to play more of it. It's got this cool retro aesthetic that works, and it's all like, if enemies bleed on you, you heal. So there's a lot of motivation for killing them when they're really close to you. But that was really it, other than the copious amounts of Resident Evil 6.
Egregious amounts of Resident Evil 6.
Criminal amounts.
Yes, that game is generous with how sadistic it is.
It gives you that, what is that, Igarashi?
That money back
feeling.
Yeah, do you get that money back feeling with all that content you got?
I feel less like it's a money back feeling and more like a mortgage back feeling. Like, oh, look at this. I have a huge deficit of my life where there was once 21 hours. There is now nothing.
Remember the part where
no.
we didn't even find guns in one of the campaigns, and it's just like, oh, you moved to the next chapter. Here's the gun you missed.
Yeah.
So
It did
Good,
that
good game
multiple
structure.
fucking,
Very smart.
it did that multiple fucking times. It was so jarring because it doesn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in your inventory at a random point, and you go, what the fuck? What?
Yeah. Also, the item system that makes no sense of, oh, you're holding too many herbs that you haven't mixed, so now you can't pick up pistol ammo, even though our menu structure is awful, and you can't tell how many item slots you have.
It's impossible to describe how bad the inventory system in this game is, but to give you a grand scale of how weird it is, KZ, up and down move you through different throwable weapons.
Or your first aid spray. That's
or
also
your
in there
first
for
aid
some
spray,
reason.
which is also in there for some reason. Left and right move you through your weapons. Hitting triangle and hitting left and right bring you through your ammo types and your healing things. By the way, this is just a vertical and horizontal grid that you have to navigate real time in the game. Oh, and the icing on the cake, KZ, this was the game they spent, what was it, $100 million on? $80 million? They had.
I remember the stories of just they put way too much money into this one.
Yeah, they had a staff of like 800 people, if I remember correctly. KZ each
8,000, right?
No, 800.
800, okay.
8,000 would make it the largest video game ever.
Okay.
That would be a modern day Shenmue. Anyway,
That's sextuple A.
yes, accurate. KZ, each and every character basically, except for like 2 different characters that share it, have a unique HUD that presents all of the information differently from each other in such an alien manner that you have to relearn menus after HUDs for every character.
I think that's kind of hilarious.
Yes, it's hilarious and a nightmare because it's pretty and cool.
It
Deal.
represents whatever cell phone they're holding at the moment.
Oh, it's stupid. It's stupid.
Yes.
Oh, so it's good.
So, like, at one point, a character changes what cell phone they have, and it completely changes everything about your menu structure.
That's so cool.
It should be. It's actually a nightmare to engage with.
It's so cool. I'm not playing it, so it's cool.
Fuck you. But yeah, that's just another layer of why that game fucking sucks. But is that all, Bob?
Yeah, other than that, I played like a bit more Warriors of Orochi, but I don't really have much to say about that. Still fun.
Might have to say more on PlayStation 5.
Yes.
We go to KZ. KZ, what you been playing?
I played some of Spelunky 2 that
Ooh.
came out this week.
I saw that clip. It was funny.
We've had some problems. People don't know Spelunky is like one of those roguelites where you go down into a cave, you try to progress through levels, 2D platforming. You die a lot because this game just kind of like beats the hell out of you constantly. Trying to collect treasure. There are shops, you can buy items in it that help you out various different ways. There are large variety of enemies. This one, the premise is like the daughter of the main character goes looking for her parents who are looking for the Olmec that they saw when looking at the moon. So they're on the moon and there are caves in the moon now.
Raw.
Yeah, so you're going through there. And yeah, I feel like this is one of the better roguelites in general. In terms of a sequel, it seems to have a lot of like new enemies. I didn't play a lot of the original, but I did think it was thought it was pretty fun. It seems like they have a lot of different level variations this time, where you always start in a generic cave setting for the first level, and that accounts for like 4 stages, so 1-1 to 1-4, and then you hit the next set. And I feel like I've gotten like 3 different versions of World 2 that so far have been generic, like jungle that has like monkeys that kill you and make me upset. A like underwater cove that has like what seems to be like Japanese buildings and like I saw someone try to pick up a treasure that was in a clam and immediately just clapped them and closed. Killed them instantly. And then just straight up a factory looking one with conveyor belts and lava that'll just kill you if you fall into it.
Yeah,
I think the variation stuff has been pretty fun. I had a scenario where I went into a shop, bought a shield, and it's like it stays in front of you and keeps you safe. What I didn't know is that it now has like physics in that wherever you move, it touches stuff. So as I move my way back, which means I'm walking through items, it's pushing the items. So the shopkeep pulls out a shotgun going, you're trying to steal everything, and starts shooting at me.
Yeah.
But the shield was protecting me, so I'm like, I don't know what I do. Do I just hit this button to use my whip? And in that time, he just shoots me. and then I'm dead, and then that runs over. A lot of accidents just happen in this game.
Yeah. Cornbread Pockets, my dear friend, used to get really mad at Spelunky because he has some sort of brain condition where he cannot not end up falling onto spikes, which are instant death.
Yes.
I watched him play, and if there were spikes anywhere, he would somehow find his way upon them. We started making a joke that for him they were magnetic. Because he'd be like, I'm not going to go that way. I don't have to go that way. He'd get smacked by an enemy and bounce backwards onto them.
Yeah, this game sometimes you get hit by an enemy, and it like... One time I jumped down, and they have little arrow traps in this that are stone faces that shoot, so you'll have to learn things like throw a rock down there to trigger them once. One time I fell through, it hit me, but the game has physics, so it hit me, bounced off the wall, went over my head, and landed on my head, so it hit me twice. This game's just... It's a little bit full of shit sometimes. They've added some like risk reward stuff because you want to like build up your money, get treasure and stuff. They've added these jars with little spooky faces on them, and if you break them, they have like a pretty pricey diamond in them. But breaking them immediately spawns the ghost from the first game that would appear when you take too long in a level, and then he's just really big, and then if you touch him, you just immediately die. So now there's this risk of breaking it to get some early money, or just picking up the jar, taking it with you for a while, and then breaking it when you hit the end of the level. And then, like, other stuff, like there's a turkey. It gobbles. If you jump on it, it runs frantically into walls. But if you, like, trap it in, like, a place where it just moves left and right, if you sit on it for long enough, it falls in love with you, and then you can ride it. You can control it, get, like, flight controls and stuff. Then there's like an NPC that regularly shows up like, I'm looking for turkeys, put them in the prison and I'll give you a key. But if you try to steal my turkeys, I'll try and shoot you with my crossbow. But yeah, and then the usual stuff. You're picking up dogs, taking them to the end of the level because they give you an extra hit point and stuff like that. I'm terrible at this. I barely get to the second world in this. It's a nightmare. There's always just something that ruins my life, or a weird circumstance that leads me to taking 5 hits in 3 seconds, which is absurd. But it's a lot of fun. I'll keep chipping away at it, but that's all I played this week.
I wanted to note before we get to what Feel's been playing, the viewer who sent us the game, because they also sent me a copy of Ultra Kill, was Carpad. So thanks, Carpad. I will check that game out soon. Feel, what have you been playing?
The only really notable thing is I started streaming the Zero Escape series, starting with 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Yeah, I didn't expect the game to just be repeated lectures about the Ancient Alien episode that the writer saw the night before. I really didn't expect that.
Do you now understand the shit post?
Yes. I thought it would be more metaphorical. I didn't think it would be like, well, we have to solve this escape room to progress in this challenge, or we're going to die in X amount of time. And some characters like, do you believe in curses? Let's talk about how a curse might have sunk the Titanic, the curse of the Mummy Queen. We'll talk about this for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and they have one of those for every puzzle.
And then later, you're freezing to death in a freezer because you got stuck.
That's the one I was hoping you hit.
Let's talk for 30 minutes about Ice 9, a fictional form of ice that freezes at 96 degrees, and the crystallization of glycerin. And it just goes on and on. One point I was having a stroke because a character just walks up. Her entire ass is out, by the way. That's just how the design be. She just walks up and it's like, you know, when you think about it, this is a lot like Baccarat. And I'm like, oh God, shut up. And no, you're trapped in the 10-minute discussion about that.
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of codec calls. Okay.
Yes, it's do this escape room in the middle of every escape room. It is exactly like codec calls, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a bunch of them. It's really funny, though. I just wanted to stop executing me with weird occult knowledge.
It will never, ever stop. Ujikoshi is a crackhead.
He really is. But I didn't play anything
really
more interesting
horny
than that. Not as much as Kodaka. I have not noticed a fetish yet.
That's a bar.
Yet.
He tried to come up with a contrived reason as to why his characters are so fan servicey, and it's always like, God damn you.
Always like I take belly dancing classes. I got kidnapped on my way back.
Yeah, that's why I'm dressed like this, and I'm like, shut up.
Well, guys, I guess that means we need to thank the Podlords.
Oh, cool.
Oh man.
Oh God, the Pod Lord.
Lords.
Podlords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles, The Good Health, parentheses, with the strong chemicals. I swear to God, that's from our Resident Evil 6 stream.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, I had a stroke for a second.
Guys, you could literally change your Podlord names to anything we say in a stream, and we'll just go, what the fuck? Every time. Microsoft, it's still the picture of the clown. I don't think this podlord's ever going to change this.
They must have watched some footage on a next-gen game.
Red Blaze 27. Stop trying to make DDS X Rido Switch happen. It's not going to happen.
It might happen.
Oh no.
In one package?
Oh no. Suzushiro. Emperor Zero. Okay. I needed more console power, but it's okay. We Special Edition now.
Ah, yes.
Mr. Feel after his leg elongation surgery to cure his being a manlet.
I'm so glad that he feels better.
Dan, when he engages in next-gen discourse.
Yeah.
I heard you need PS Plus to have backwards compatibility, Dan.
You heard wrong. Don't even joke about it. People will believe you.
Oh, okay.
Charging $70 for games is reasonable. And, like, I can't look at this image and not make a honk honk sound.
Picture.
I can't. I have to go honk honk. We'll show all our forces. We won't cut them any slack. The EDF deploys.
Stop it!
Dan isn't even doing the right tone. You're getting nothing from this.
Actually, KZ, Gary Busey was in Sewer Shark.
Ah!
Yes! It's really good.
Thank you for fact-checking me.
Put some 3D shades on a console. Call that the KZ Series Excellent.
God.
Yeah, there's ray tracing with mine.
WTF Spider-Man. Sorry, Australia.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. That's the tweet.
No, because all their shit costs even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You die, Mike.
Sheriff Pecan. As a response to Devil May Cry V Special Edition, all Xbox versions must change V's name to L.
L, the bottom text.
The Xbox Series S is brought to you by the letter S. It also stands for stop. Please, Xbox, stop. Could you
We're gonna know it.
Can you imagine they do a voice command like Xbox Go Home?
God.
Xbox, stop.
Well, luckily there's no Kinect anymore, so that doesn't work.
And they didn't invent a new controller that has a mic in it, so there you go.
Oh yeah, they really did nothing.
It's not a share button, it's a stop button.
Abbott and Costello performing their famous skit, naming all the Xbox consoles in release order. Jesus Christ.
Series S? No, Series X. Series X.
That's what I said,
Series
you
X.
nitwit. Which one? The one! Which one? The one!
Which one? The one. Which one is the one?
The Xbox One. Yeah, which one?
Which Xbox One? The one called Xbox One. The first one or the new one?
The day one.
This is no different than how we talked about Xbox last week.
Muckbun. As long as I have my blue eyes white chocobo, you're just a third-rate dragoon with a fourth-rate lance.
That's true, he got it pretty bad.
For $25 a month, Shiny Mew will float in your house and provide more value than an Xbox Series S. Man, that just fucking right at the end.
That's true. That
I was like, this doesn't seem mean yet.
Found my kunai. Now to get my PS5 pre-order.
The Herculean task.
Is it still the dinosaur?
It actually is pretty good, but it's not the dinosaur.
Kyrie gets
That's pretty good.
Pistol whip a bank teller.
Be on the news.
KC is very glad she took time off. Thanks, Sony. Yeah. Looking forward to the news segment. The Alpha and the Omega. Virgil Berry.
Ah!
Oh, God.
He's so
Oh,
strong.
that's really. This might.
If our positions were switched.
Oh, it looks so bad. Oh no.
Too much power.
It's great. I don't know.
Also, I can't even see the alpha and the omega anymore. Not just Bob.
Gonna have to go find that.
My creativity has been sapped. Back to my name next week. It's okay. Devil Summoner Raidu Kozunoha versus Digital Devil Saga Switch Edition.
I'm sorry, we canceled it at the start of the segment.
Apparently. Adam is eternally stuck in hell. Also, Lu Bu is here. So is the Series S. And also Sony's pre-order promise. Send help.
I don't know. I think Lu Bu has that covered.
He's gonna get you out.
Lu Bu's like, oh fuck, Lu Bu's like, get out of the way, Satan. Satan's like, oh fuck, it's Lu Bu. I'm just gonna get out of the way.
Satan does that defeated animation from Dynasty Warriors 4 where he holds his arm and looks back.
I was just gonna say like one of the acolytes of hell is like, it's Lu Bu! It just gets one shot. Skyfire Hero says to please take care of yourselves. People love and care about you. General advice or legitimately concerned about one of the 4 hosts. Dun, 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 dun. Kyle Bjork. When was the last time you drank horse milk, Dan? Where the fuck do these come from?
It's a reasonable question.
My week-long erection has been cured by playing Bounty Battle for the PC, Switch, and PS4. Do not play it; it will stab you. You ever hear what's blatantly an ad, but then also hear don't play it? It's pretty confusing.
Oh, don't worry. Looking at this, I don't intend to play it. I'm not going to play what appears to be a bad Smash clone that has the Guacamelee guy as a character.
Oh, it's that game.
Oh, yeah.
Apple Gothic is tired from moving into a new place and has no joke this week. Zilter. KZ Excellent is my favorite VTuber. Them podlords ain't right.
God dang it, Phil Spencer, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Zasterder is excited for Gamer Premonitions, Final Fantasy 16. How about Armchair Devs? I feel like you got that. You could go enjoy it.
No.
Okay.
They go together like peanut butter and chocolate. I work for Naughty Dog.
It's Insomniac. And I'm going to throw you in a ditch. Me, when I see you with the last Capri Sun.
I'll kill you. It's the last thing I do.
Ooh. That was important. That was very important. Incredibly important.
Wait a minute. You tell me it's $100 for a disc drive?
With the release of new information, Microsoft has once again come to darken my door.
Yup.
Yeah, that's just fucking accurate.
Let's see some next-gen footage.
Doom Guy is now E10 Plus and ready for Smash.
Oh, look at that.
Slip and slide until mom gets home. It's really good text. That's a good edit. I appreciate this edit immensely. Time to save for a PS5, I guess. Please tip your waiters and Uber drivers.
Or else you're subhuman.
And don't take our hand sanitizer.
This one's giving me a stroke. Item!
Why is it a Bionicle?
I don't know.
Okay.
Me when college.
Cope.
Cope.
Thank you very much to our podboards.
Thanks, Paulo.
Thank you. Hold on.
Was that real?
Yeah, that was real. That was real.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, podlords.
Okay, hold on. Let me put the coin in the slot.
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GBpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Mondo Cool and Chugging Bleach, our 2 anime review podcasts. How early depends on how Dan feels. Extended armchair dev pitches where we actually try and talk about our ideas. Cursed Content Club commentary tracks where you can watch a horrible thing with us, like Tony Hawk Boom Boom Sabotage, easily one of the most horrible things ever created. And Cursed Content by Committee, our Patreon voted Cursed Content show. That's patreon.com/GB podcasts.
I'm going to try to arrange the news in an order that makes sense.
Sure.
I'm going to blitz through this. NVIDIA bought ARM. Everybody asks me, what does that mean? Who is ARM? Every cell phone, every smartphone, basically on the planet, if not every last one, 99.9999% is powered by an ARM system, an ARM CPU, or as they call it, system on a chip. NVIDIA just bought a company that has CPUs in every phone. It's not great, honestly, anytime a company buys another company in the tech industry, because that's how you get a monopoly, and it's not great. So this, they're buying for them for a shitload. I believe it was $40 billion, which it's justified. ARM is in everything, and some of the world's most powerful supercomputers are made with ARM. The other ones are made with NVIDIA GPUs. Yeah, so they're definitely investing in something that's going to have good long-term value. That sucks. That's the whole story. Nothing else to explain. COD's esports league apparently is switching from console for the first time in a decade. Now the default is playing on PC with a league-approved controller, which is a really fucking bizarre thing.
Huh, so I guess
What
they
is it,
still...
like Mad Cats?
I assume it's... Oh, man, what's the brand? I don't think it's Scuff. There's a different one they prefer.
I figured it would just be Xbox brand, but I guess not.
No, I don't think so. Keep in mind, it was PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm correct, before this, it was PlayStation 4 was the default platform, but none of those accessories work on the PS5 COD, seemingly. So that may be part of it. Who knows? Maybe there are other decisions here dictating this. Let's see. Quick PlayStation 5-esque news. Jim Ryan says that because they spend well over $100 million on their games individually, that it isn't even remotely sustainable to do a Game Pass-like service. As it turns out.
Wow, it's almost like that whole thing is a fucking stupid idea.
Are you telling me that thing that makes no money isn't sustainable?
Oh, this makes sense. Every Microsoft exclusive looks like it's made with $10.
It certainly doesn't look like Sony exclusives. I haven't been digging through Twitter replies to see how other people have been dealing with this. It's only a matter
I
of
haven't
time.
either. I apologize. I can't strawman us today.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just something along the lines of Microsoft is helping the industry by making nothing.
Yeah, that's they're innovators. They're fighting right now.
Yeah. You can activate Trans Am.
Let's see. We got a bunch of other news. We can cover the Xbox news pretty fast because there's not all that much.
Are you sure? Look at all these things.
We'll start with the best one with the most nested bullets. They released next-gen footage of the Xbox Series S version of Dirt 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to go watch that and decide if you think that's next-gen. I am kind of floored.
I think you came into my stream to say, it's like, dude, this footage is great.
I was like, yeah, here's a link for anyone who wants to watch it. And then the chat shit its pants as they glanced at a thing that doesn't look next-gen at all.
How did they even let this get out? I'm curious.
Look, man.
Was this from Microsoft or was this
is from the Dirt devs, but clearly Microsoft is okay with it.
Right. That's
This
insane.
is killing me because I didn't see all of it, but I watched a little of the Digital Foundry video for, I think it was PS5. And one of them basically just said, oh yeah, and we've seen a lot of footage of Xbox Series. Well, we have, the audience hasn't. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, just saying, it's like, behind closed doors, we've seen plenty of Series X footage, but we've seen, like, none.
That's so weird.
That's bizarre. But yeah,
Because Halo was on a PC.
yeah, Halo was on a PC. Everything has seemingly been on a PC. But this is running on Series S, so if you guys want to see what is supposedly just as capable of a box, but rendering at a lower resolution. Feel free to check that out and see if it looks next gen in the least. Also, Microsoft had hacked out of their server, allegedly, not leaked willingly by any Microsoft employee, allegedly, an insane interview process where they had executives interviewing executives about how smart they were, how good their strategy is, and how great their box or platform is for 30 minutes straight. And they planned on sending this to game journalists.
Only journalists. It was a brainwashing video.
The person who runs all the interviews in this is the head of marketing over at Microsoft. So about halfway through this thing, I realized they were technically responsible for every cringe tweet from Xbox I've ever read, such as, what was it? What was the tweet where they made the over 9,000 joke this week?
Oh, it was the one about
when they're trying to
pre-orders.
dunk on pre-orders.
Yeah, and that's an easy dunk. Like, dunking on Sony for that is easy. Our podlords did it pretty well.
Yeah.
Still fucked up, though.
But Xbox needed to work in an over 9,000 joke. That thing is an interesting thing to watch. It's still up on Streamable. The head of marketing over there had a shit fit when it was leaked, screamed about it, how much it harmed them, how much time they put into setting that up, and how much it upset them. But then they never released it because apparently it's not for the public. And
Who cares?
every journalist who watched that thing said they're lucky this got hacked out. If they released this video, people would have thought they were so out of touch. And it is really PS3 levels of out of touch, honestly.
It is insane. It also changes terminology and talks about things in a way they've never done it before, being like, oh yeah, the Series X and S, this generation is called the Scarlet.
It's called the Scarlet Generation. And then they say these two boxes were Project Scarlet, which, no, they weren't. Scarlet was the Series X. Lockhart was the Series X.
Also, why are they calling it a generation? They said they went beyond generations
And
4 years
then,
ago.
even weirder, they called it Generation 9. They're like the Generation 9 Xbox. They do all of this throughout 30 minutes, and I have a stroke every time because I'm like, it's not the Generation 9 Xbox. You only have 4 generations.
Don't forget that really good quote they had in there that was like, the Xbox Series X or S has a super fast CPU that's even better than the One X. But we don't want to compare anything else because comparing across generations is silly. Except for the one thing it's better than. Also, we said generations were dead. We've given the generations 2 names.
The Series S is 3 times as powerful as the Xbox One X. They have basically the same graphics.
Yeah, the GPUs are basically even, but then the Series S has a drastically smaller RAM amount, so the textures won't be as good on a Series S as they were on an X.
Schizophrenic
1X.
over there.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
They're telling you a different story like 4 times in one video.
I asked on Twitter after watching this if people thought Microsoft was going to force devs to ship on both Series S and Series X, or they were going to let devs feel free to ignore the Series S. Most people said Microsoft would definitely force them to ship on both. And then a developer came out and said, yeah, from what I looked at last year, they were forcing devs to support both. If they supported either, they treated it like the mid-gen update. You know, when
that's why certain things are console exclusive to Sony next gen.
Now you see, I always called it mid-gen upgrade. Because, you know, things go up.
Yes.
But things don't go up this time.
Yes, correct.
That's so... I'm not going to be able to deal with it.
Also, I really, really hate everyone in the media taking Microsoft's talking point that this is a 1440p console and just repeating it without understanding at all what that might mean. We have another thing about that actually for the news, but I didn't write it in. Microsoft came out, talked to IGN about how they have tools for devs to make smaller games for the Series S, so that way they don't take up as much hard drive space, and that they can bake their games with 30% lower quality textures, and this will save space, not only on the disk, but also in RAM, but they don't bring up the RAM part because they don't want to admit the RAM is smaller, even though it's drastically smaller. Anyway, IGN then says every game on the Series S will be 30% smaller according to Xbox. And it's like, no, that's not what they said. They
Right.
said they offered the tools and that some devs might do that. More importantly, though, we should be focusing on the fact of, if they're doing that, then that's not the same game at a lower res now, is it? That is an objectively worse looking game now. So Microsoft directly told you, we think devs are going to use this tool to make their game smaller and it will make them look worse. Resolution doesn't matter here. Rendering resolution doesn't take up space on the disc. And somehow people still can't put together in their heads, this isn't just the same experience at a lower res. Feel?
Yeah.
Tell us about the song.
Yeah, they made a song about how many games are on Game Pass. It's really fucking bad. It's a really generic, like, club beat going, so many games in an accent. It's unbelievably dire. Every single
songs
person
now.
Yeah.
whoever runs that Twitter account
Needs to be fired, yeah. Out of a cannon.
I said to Dan when I first listened to it, I was like, this is like an SNL skit from the 90s, but the absolute worst version of it ever.
Yeah, it's the Sprockets skit.
Yeah.
And it's trying to sell you a thing while it's also thinking it's funny. It's really fucking bad. I'm critical of their marketing decisions. I'm critical of a lot of things they do, and a lot of the loaded terminology like pro-consumer and other shit that they're constantly pushing because it's poisoning the well on a lot of next-gen discussion. But I hate the cringe their accounts are constantly putting out so much more. I really do. This next bit of news will wait till we get to that segment up there. Last bit of Microsoft news. Allegedly, Microsoft has been trying to acquire Bungie as of late, but they literally can't afford them because they're such a large studio now. The CEO of Bungie came out on Twitter and denied this rumor, though. Not sure to trust them.
I don't think that's true because that'd be a smart decision for them to try, but Microsoft has shown they don't want to spend any more money than they might like have in their pocket at that exact moment.
Right. When they went around buying studios, they didn't buy really high-grade studios. When the A-lister of the studios they bought was Ninja Theory, that says everything.
Every single studio they bought was in some form of financial duress.
Yes.
The only studio that they bought where I went, oh, damn, they got him, was Obsidian.
Right.
Because I'm like, I like some of their games, but the rest of them is just like, okay, I'm not going to... They're not making anything that's going to make me go like, damn it. They're not making a Cuphead.
They'll all still be on PC.
now on
So
everything.
if you want them, you don't even have to get an Xbox.
Even with Obsidian, I think that falls into they were in financial problems.
Yeah,
at that point.
they have never not been in that state. That has been Obsidian's state since they were formed.
Yeah, so it's just normal. It's like, whatever. They're always bleeding all over the floor.
Well, Bethesda killed us. Microsoft killed us. Microsoft killed us again.
So last bit of Microsoft news before we move on. So after the PlayStation event, I made a Twitter poll asking people to retweet it as much as possible so we can get as large a sample size and time for Big Think as possible, because the larger the sampling size, the less bias there is. This thing got 587 retweets. It got over 4,000 votes. The return on it is so much worse than I could have imagined. Basically 89.8% of people, so basically 90%, are getting a PS5, whether that's the all digital at 16.2% or the disc drive at 73.6%. And then 10.4% of people are getting a Series X, an Xbox Series console. That's 4.3% getting the Series S, you poor souls, and 5.9% getting a Series X.
Oh yeah, they're getting to the Scarlet generation.
God damn it. That is so much worse than it was on the Xbox One launch. I genuinely feel this is a much weaker launch than last time. It's a fucking nightmare. But anyway, we're done talking about Xbox stuff. Let's get into the PlayStation event that happened this week. Actually, never mind. I want this one break from next gen. Please read your top bullet.
The director of the Prince of Persia remake. Let me find out his name because it is painfully French.
God,
Really?
a baguette materializes in your throat.
The director's French? The studio's in India.
Right?
Well, I don't know if he's French, but he has the most French name I've ever heard in my life. The game director, Pierre-Sylvain Guirez.
You're not wrong. It's incredibly French.
Basically said the game looks bad because we wanted it to look unique.
God.
They also said it's from an older build, and they showed like newer screenshots, and I'm like, why-
You should have
why?
shown the newer build. Like I have no mercy for that. He said they didn't want it to look like Assassin's Creed, so it couldn't be like too realistic, and they didn't want it to look like Fertile Lands Prince of Persia, which I don't know why that looked good.
Right.
So instead it just looks bad.
This is bullshit. That is not why. It is a relatively unproven studio from what everything's pointing to, and it probably didn't have enough budget. So that's probably why, but whatever. Thank you for the Prince of Persia update. We now move on to the PlayStation 5 showcase, which opened with Final Fantasy 16.
People have been saying it for a while that it was supposed to show up a few months ago and didn't, and now it's finally here, and holy shit.
Pretty hype.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. I like that the combat design seems a lot more grounded in a very different take from a lot of what we've been seeing recently, I feel, from Square.
Like everything just feels a lot more grounded, and people like there was a really good Twitter thread of like, this is the current staff the game has and like their influences and stuff, because the producer is Naoki Yoshida, who saved Final Fantasy 14, and he got into the company because he was a very big fan of Matsuno and a bunch of different games from Square, like big fan of Tactics Ogre, big fan of Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy 12, all that stuff, and has said 2 years ago, while this game was still in development, like, I want the next mainline Final Fantasy to be like medieval and focusing more on grounded stuff like that, and knights and classic summons, while actually making this game. Wanted to focus more on that kind of stuff, some political intrigue, and they have a Devil May Cry 5 guy working on the battle system in this, and it's so obvious.
Yeah, and he actually did multiple Devil May Cries. I saw his history. Yeah, it's pretty promising. Very different change for the series. I'm glad about that because I feel like we haven't had enough variety in Final Fantasy in a really long time, and if we ended up with anything remotely looking like 15.
One thing that got me is the beginning of this trailer when it's like showing all the mercenaries.
I
was like, oh no, this looks like the 15 movie.
It did look like the 15 movie a little bit.
I also
100%
thought
with
that.
you there. Yeah, luckily you get to some character designs that look nothing like the characters in that movie pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's one of the meatiest trailers they've done, especially way more meaty than anything they ever do for a first trailer for any of their games. So they clearly were letting this cook for a while, because there's like multiple gameplay cuts, multiple locations and scenes and stuff. You can clearly see a time skip is involved.
Yeah,
which I think is really neat.
They show that when they do the front-on shot, and he says, "I'm going to kill Praxis."
Yes. Yeah, and it's like, oh, the stuff in the beginning is clearly like after you finish the prologue or something, because he's all fucked up. He's got that face tattoo with the spear on it.
He's got the teardrop. Yeah,
he's gonna find Ramza.
But yeah, no, that was a really exciting opening to this. I really appreciate a lot of the things it was going for with the chocobo design and aesthetic in general.
The first new Final Fantasy protagonist since 2006.
I'm gonna fucking puke.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking puke. It's been so dire.
I worry that because we didn't get a lot of other characters. I'm like, please have a team, like a party, like a Final Fantasy game.
I'm convinced that that's just I'm convinced that's just the prologue, and that's why. Like, you'll get a prologue of, this is the premise of the world. Bad thing happens that makes him like, I'll kill you. And then
those generic
Time
mercenary
skip.
men are your teammates for the whole game. I
Shut
stroke
the
out and die.
Fuck up.
no, that place, you see like Titan shows up in that trailer and a dude dies to a rock. This main dude gets separated and then starts meeting other characters.
It's great to see that they're willing to show blood. That this can be a realistic world in that sense.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. They cut him a blank check on this game.
Which good.
Playing 14, Yoshida clearly wants to paint some scenes red, and he can't. They won't let him.
Oh.
And now he's like, your game keeps the company running.
Bad stuff happens in those games, so I'm like, yeah, this is a wonderful like fresh tone. I wanted them to do the medieval setting like a lot to mix things up. We don't need every Final Fantasy to shoot for science fiction or hyper fantasy, hyper futuristic Magitech all the time.
Yeah.
This is like super fresh in that regard, and I'm not too worried about them not having party stuff, because 14 has an insanely good, strong main cast of different characters for its like main group. So I'm sure they'll have something on even approaching that level for this.
They'll have the Gentleman of Light.
I love Hildebrand.
Yeah, Hildebrand's great.
He know
What a
he
dipshit.
has some of the best quest lines in that.
Oh man.
He got suplexed from 3,000 feet in the air.
Oh man.
By a man wearing no clothes.
So the hope is that Yoko Taro's making the next one, right?
It's the hope, but we'll find out what he's doing next week, maybe.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, they did say we're gonna see more of the Nier, the Nier Replicant remake at TGS.
We'll see how crackheaded that thing is.
Because the way they're like, so this is just a normal remaster, right? And he's like, and they just start saying those weird words that make static appear in front of my eyes.
Yeah, and then he curls up under the desk and puts his hands over the back of his head.
And it's like, no, it's called Nier Replicant version 1 point, and then there's 15 numbers, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
So that was exciting. We got other news out of this. I'm going to go through it relatively quickly for some of it. Miles Morales is $50. It's also coming out on the PS4, apparently, a thing they didn't announce during this. They announced it afterwards.
Yeah.
There's an Ultimate Edition that's $70 that comes with the 2017 Spider-Man upgraded for the PS5. So it's got ray tracing, it's got et cetera, et cetera. It is a bespoke PS5 version of that game. Where you get all those enhancements. So that's good, I guess, if you don't have that game, or if you're sick enough.
Yeah, I'm a little upset if I can't upgrade to it.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to let you upgrade to it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I was hearing people saying they won't.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true. I just heard people getting angry about it.
I would assume if they
I'll
were going
pay you money.
No. Yes, you will. $20 on top of Miles Morales at the same time. With Kazooie alone.
Whatever.
And
I need ray
I'll
trace
do it. I'm
into
a
his head.
sheep.
they probably won't even give you a way to transfer your save data.
I'm sure they'll figure something out for that. I'm
I
sure
mean, I
that
wouldn't care anyway. I'd just start over.
Oh
if
my
I ever
God.
play that because I did everything.
Oh my god.
Like, what am I gonna do? Swing around in a circle and go wee wee wee?
I mean, that
I
was
guess I could
most
do
what
New
I
Game
did.
Plus. They do have
60
that.
FPS
That's
stealth
true.
missions.
They do have New Game Plus.
With the power of the SSD, Mary Jane can clip through fucking walls during the stealth segments.
Hell yeah, it's just like Hitman.
So yeah, I honestly I would like to have the upgraded version of that just because like I really enjoyed that game and wanted to 100% it. So I'm pretty interested in that. We got a pretty chunky trailer for that. It looked really good.
I feel like it beat out any set piece in the previous game, and the other one, and those were great. But
Yeah.
this bridge sequence kept going, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
I think the only thing on the same level would be that sequence with the safe that's being moved through the
Yes.
city.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the only thing even close.
It went in that this soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad
Like-
they went for a different style because I like this music a shitload more than what was in Spider-Man 2017.
The
Seeing-
second gameplay starts, you're like, this is an absurd upgrade from the first game in every area.
Yeah, all the new powers they show him have look really neat. Can do like some sort of
You
uppercut
tether,
that moves
like, 7
everyone.
people. Yeah.
But yeah, so that game looked promising. It being PS4, being a PS4 game is a little disappointing because that means they can't do anything they couldn't do on the PS4. That'll be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy was announced. It's coming out in 2021. It is the single most hype thing ever made out of Harry Potter. Takes place over 100 years before the events
Yeah,
of
like
normal.
1880.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even like 50 or 60 years before the fucking horrible Fantastic Beasts movie. Coming someday to Cursed Content Club.
No, don't you fucking promise them that.
I said someday. There's potential to infinity.
Yes, that is true. Or just brains in jars.
Mm-hmm.
That game looked great.
Yeah, look.
Like visually, I was impressed at how that looked, and I like that world. So if it continues to look like that, I'll buy it, and then people will scream at me.
I wish we got to see. I wish we got to see gameplay like just straight. Here is what it looks like when you play this game. Because I don't think we got that. This felt like a cinematic
There's no
trailer.
time.
There's no time. They can't even give us the right information on many of these games. So
That's true.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sony event was really good about that.
No.
That game, by the way, will be apparently multi-platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
multi-gen.
the Final Fantasy 16 we didn't say, but that's PS5 only. No Xbox, no PC announced yet.
At launch, yeah.
also, shout out to our reaction to the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, in which we lose our minds over exclusivity. I scream, "Put Microsoft in the ground," or "Put them in the ground." Square Enix Twitter account really liked that tweet. Responded.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. They were like, "We love your reaction video," and I'm like, "Wow, cool."
I mean, yeah, we were super excited.
Yeah, no, Luge has the shit.
Again, people need to remember, anytime they show gameplay at the start of a Final Fantasy reveal thing, it always looks bad. Look at the 2015 7 trailer, the 15 trailer. They run at 10 frames and look bad. This looked great.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It did say this was the only thing in the event that it said was not running on PS5.
It said, running on a PC designed to emulate the experience of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Yeah, but it wasn't,
oh.
this is a target render of what we think gameplay will be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no HUD with moving heads.
God, Nomura needs to stop. It's so bad. He did that in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm like, what are you doing? It makes no sense.
I mean, he needs to innovate and have the HUD match the direction you're looking to, so you're most of the time to see the back of Sora's head on the HUD.
Right.
Dude, I feel like he really, really likes this, and I'm like, PS5's gonna do it. It's gonna make him want it, and it's gonna work, and I'm gonna be upset.
Now I have to make an announcement about this Harry Potter game.
Sure.
Fact: J.K. Rowling is a piece of human garbage.
Yes.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling has $1.5 billion.
That's
True.
depressing.
Whether you buy this game or not, she will be completely unaffected. I understand not wanting to support a horrible person, but in this specific case, it really does not fucking matter. She is already wealthy beyond the dreams of any rational human being.
Right.
She literally could not spend money fast enough to ever be poor. There's just no way.
Yeah, no, that's literally impossible at that point.
So if you want this game, just buy it. Like, is it supporting her? Yeah, a little bit. She's getting a few nickels on her literal planet of gold. But you can't hurt her. That's the depressing truth of it. So if you really want this game, denying yourself, it really does nothing. It's just, it might make you feel better for a second, but if you think buying this game would make you feel better than that, go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting asked a lot in my stream of like, should you, like, it's like, you're not buying it, right? It's like, well, I would have some sort of moral dilemma of like, here's the story she wrote. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure WB Games watched Fantastic Beasts and said, no, go away.
The first thing they ever said about this game was that she did not have any input on it.
Yeah, they're just like, we have an opportunity to use this world to make a game out of it. And so I don't really have a moral dilemma with that. I'm not really going to be guilt tripped into not buying a game because of that. I think she sucks 100%, but she has minimal involvement. And the thing that'll determine whether I buy a game is if it looks good or not.
Yeah. The only thing protesting this game will effectively do is kind of ruin the studio that made it, and they didn't do anything wrong. J.K. Rowling did something wrong.
Yeah, like when this game started development, she hadn't decided that she was going to write a 900-page novel about how trans people are serial killers and also fuck Muslims. She didn't have that 900-page novel planned yet.
Yeah, she didn't have the epiphany to do that.
This is a weird case, because if it was like her company, I'd say yes, fuck them, drive them out of existence. But this is such a strange case where they're licensing something from a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, also she weren't insanely wealthy.
Like, you know who gets some money from Kingdom Hearts 3? James Woods. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it's so minimal, and they're already so rich. There's liberation in realizing you really can't affect anything.
Black Ops Cold War campaign gameplay was shown.
That was fun. Usually these are the down moments in this press conference. This was
Speaking
cool.
of other people going to hell, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, this was.
I think we're a little bit late for that.
Why? What happened?
This was a really good showing. I feel like the gameplay segment looked excellent. The funniest fucking part is when you take the shot at the terrorist, and he just coincidentally isn't where you fired. And the guy next to him gets blown up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I should get out of here."
The guy yells like Rich Evans. Oh fuck!
I know I was worried about like the campaign stuff because they didn't do a campaign last time, and we knew this wasn't the Treyarch's turn this time.
The time before
they
last.
Kind of had to like
technically.
Yeah, the time before last.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to come up next now because we got that news. So it was like, oh, this one might end up being a bit rough. But that showing was impressive. The takedowns were a bit excessive.
I know, that was fucking good.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yes, I'm clapping like a seal, but geez, man.
Knife in the side of the head, gun in the mouth.
Yes.
Like, I think he's dead, dude.
The like RC car or whatever that they released to catch up to the plane that's faster than every Jeep in this sequence.
Yeah, it had maglev bearings.
I think there was a jet thruster on the back.
There should have been, clearly. But yeah, no, it looked cool as shit.
Good mayhem.
I am picking this up with the PS5. I'm glad that campaign clip they showed seemed pretty good. I'm
$70 dues.
Yeah, $70 dues for better or worse. This is a fucking cross-gen game, and it's fucking $70 dudes. Whatever.
L.
This is that fucking Dr. Phil video. L.
Me finishing playing Destiny board.
God damn it.
But yeah, so that looked pretty decent. I'm unclear whether or not it's the single player that's 4K 120 or just the multiplayer, but that seems pretty neat. I'm gonna look forward to checking that out. Next up, we had Resident Evil Village shown, which is Resident Evil 8. It opens with Ethan saying, "Chris, what the hell?"
Yeah, we were like, is it Resident Evil 8? And then it's like immediately.
It's so fucking funny that he keeps doing that. Every trailer needs to have Ethan yelling at Chris.
And I'm like, Chris, that's you? This fridge?
To celebrate them showing off Resident Evil 8 again, Dusk Golem came out to say, "No, I take back taking it back. It's having trouble running on the PS5. Please believe me."
God, so bad.
Is that real, or is that just you having
Oh no,
fun?
that's real. That's what people told me.
Okay.
I didn't go search up all of his tweets to see where he said it or check reset error or whatever.
What an idiot.
Apparently he started rolling it back. Either way, whatever. We'll see how it runs when it launches.
Whatever, who cares? I only care about your game leaks, not your optimization blurbs.
Yeah, because like
Which are wrong and made up.
like, here's the thing. Every fucking dev this year is like, oh yeah, the PS5, fucking great. Like, super easy to take advantage of the performance in it. And then this is the one outstanding thing that's the opposite. And it's like, why are you like this? And then he goes,
100%.
well, I felt bad that the Xbox news cycle looked so bad. Like, why? What?
And like, there's a news article two games later that's going to be like, what? This doesn't add up.
Oh, God.
Dan, I'm never going to care about anyone who tells me about a game that's coming out the next year and is having some optimization issues. I'm like, every game does. They're working on the game.
Yeah.
It's going to improve.
But it has trouble running at 1080p.
They're like, the game's not finished yet. I know it's not out yet.
I'm sure there's not a game in this very show that runs at 4K 30 with ray tracing on the exact same engine.
So, next up we have Deathloop. You know, Bethesda. I didn't get anything extra out of this trailer, so I think I'll move on.
It had some like fun power related, like fucking around with dudes and stuff. It looked all right, but I'm not as interested in this as I am for Ghostwire.
That'll be a good game I buy for $20 a year and a half after it comes out.
Deathloop.
I'm sure it'll be $20 5 months later.
Deathloop, if it controls well, seems like it's a neat game. Unfortunately, it's made by a studio that's known for making games that don't feel good as shooters.
Oh no.
Maybe on PC, but oh well. Anyway, moving on. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition was revealed.
Yeah. The amount of people when I watched reactions of this who started shitting their pants at a road because they just know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very distinct road.
Mm-hmm.
Real good stuff. So what all does it cover, Bob? What extra content and modes do we get with Devil May Cry 5?
You get Legendary Dark Knight mode, which is the mode where they just show absurd amounts of enemies in each stage.
It was kind of staggering when they showed that on screen. It was like 20 fucking enemies all around you.
You get Turbo mode, where the game runs 20% faster, which I know some people they only play Devil May Cry at that. They download the mod on the PC to do that. And the biggest one is Virgil, where you get to play as Virgil.
From the Devil May Cry series?
From the Devil May Cry series.
Whoa.
With Doppelganger.
He has this move where he apparently shoves his sword into himself, and then V comes out and does a super special. We don't get to see any like other weapons than his Yamato, so I'm not sure how they're going to do that, if he's going to have more stuff we haven't seen yet. Hopefully. We'll just have to wait.
I'm wondering if like, because they show him in every single level, or rather they show him in a level from each character.
Right. I assume it'll be just like the old ones where he goes through the whole original game.
So I'm assuming they'll just give him Beowulf and maybe Force Edge and be like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, that's what they did with 4, so I assume they'll do that again. Hopefully. I just worry they won't, because we didn't see anything of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still like a month out.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, his theme is... It's really cool to have a new one of these themes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They're like, just like last time, it's going to come out the day this podcast comes out. They're putting his theme song, Bury the Light, on all like music services, where the composer's just like, yeah, we tried to make this the yang to fucking Devil Trigger's yin.
I really... I'm going to sit here and hope for extra costumes for each character, but it probably won't happen.
The special edition is next-gen exclusive, so it's coming out on the Series X, Series S, and PS5.
Wait. Is it coming on the Series S?
Yeah, I confirmed that yesterday.
Okay.
I confirmed that yesterday. They buried that shit. I had to get the entire internet to look, but we found it. It was on Capcom Unity at the bottom of a page. Everywhere else doesn't mention Series S.
Bold to launch it on a system that can't do any of the features we're talking about.
So they have a 4K 30 and a 1080p 60 ray tracing mode. It won't, like, I don't know if that's coming over to the Series S because it can't do those resolutions with ray tracing. There's a 0% chance.
It already isn't launching with that on Series X. Ray tracing just isn't in it at launch.
Yeah, that's right, Bob. They're getting a post-launch update to get ray tracing on the Series X, the console with the power necessary to do real ray tracing, as I've heard Microsoft
the
marketing.
only place to do real ray tracing.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's what they've been pounding the drum on all year.
It's so exhausting, and somehow there's one game this year that has ray tracing, and it's the Medium. Anyway, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition also works at up to 120 frames per second if you turn off the ray tracing. The ray tracing looks really sharp, so I'll probably play 1080p 60 for a bit, but I would much rather play that game at like 120 frames per second. That sounds dope.
Yeah, now I'm really excited for these fast load times.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the special edition's next gen exclusive, but older systems, specifically PS4, Xbox One, and PC are getting the Virgil DLC.
Yeah, it is a bit upsetting that they didn't do a PC full on special edition, but maybe they'll add the other stuff in a some sort of DLC too.
So what I assume has to be the case with the special edition stuff. Is since that's all built into one version of the game, that means they would have to get ray tracing to work on PC right as the AMD is launching their ray tracing capable graphics cards on PC. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it does.
That sounds like early 3D graphics again, where it's now we have two fundamentally different ways to do ray tracing hardware wise, and you need to optimize for both or your performance tanks on whichever one you didn't. Very exciting time for PC ray tracing coming up. That's fine. Not going to worry about it. I wanted them to make a next-gen version of Devil May Cry 5. I wanted them to improve the game around what next-gen's capable of. I got exactly that, so I have nothing but positive feelings about this.
Marketing specifically mentions the SSD, so they probably fixed the death screen.
Yes. And also,
this felt cartoon-like in its announcement, where I'm like, there have been multiple scenarios I thought in my head of this is how they announce a PS5 event. They make DMC5 Virgil a launch title because it benefits me and me alone.
Yeah, no, we made several jokes about that, and then it became real, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's one of those things I figured would just crawl out during TGS at a random hour, not in a big event.
Also,
I'm glad.
Also,
so good.
I'm pretty sure they promoted that the game will have enhanced 3D audio for the PS5.
Yes, they did. That Matt Walker video is like they put in a lot of stuff for spatial 3D audio for the game.
So that's cool as hell.
I'd like to hear them talk about more stuff, like maybe Bloody Palace stuff, if they add the multiplayer mode that people found in there. Or even the stuff they put in Devil May Cry 3 where you get the weapon wheel.
Style switching. Yeah, please. Or the wheel thing, yeah.
It's so strange.
Hope that's not just trapped.
Yeah.
Next, we got Oddworld Soulstorm. That game still is just showing cutscenes that I'm really interested in, and a story I'm really interested in, with a gameplay type I'm not interested in.
Yeah, it did nothing for me at all.
If you're
I'd
curious,
have to play those first two.
If you're curious about our opinion on that, I did a review of Oddworld New and Tasty. I believe it's called. Go check out the review on GigaBoots.
I know that gameplay style, and I know I wouldn't like it, where you're escorting the dudes across like another world-esque gameplay types with like the way you run and jump and platform. It's not my kind of thing at all.
So here's the weird thing. I actually love Another World, and I really like Flashback, but I don't like Oddworld because they add another layer of mechanic on it, and they add way too many things you can do. Because the whole thing with Another World is you only have so many different actions. So any puzzle you run up against is solvable with only a limited set of tools, making it exponentially less frustrating to figure out the solution.
It's like Donkey Kong Country Returns, but every possible choice could kill you.
Or others permanently.
Oh, no!
Yeah. So
and then the soundtrack's really bad.
At least Oddworld soundtrack's better than that. Anyway, no, I didn't say that. That was a joke. Anyway,
Can't believe Bob said that.
If you blow up this candle, then the cake will explode and kill Diddy.
Oh man, you got an O. You lost 4 lives.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach announced. It's a real 3D video game.
Whoa.
We did it.
That was just bizarre.
That was out of touch.
I mean, it's
some
super
people.
popular, so I guess it makes sense.
It was super popular.
Yeah, it was.
I think it still is.
Yeah, I think it's like it's still popular, but it's not breaking the doors down the way it did before, where it's everywhere, and they're like, we need to get a movie deal on this.
Yeah, I know we even stopped selling the toys at GameStop like end of last year.
Yeah, I think the hype really died off quite a lot for that. I'd be surprised if there was a fifth the audience it used to have.
Still better
I mean,
than what they had on the last show with Goodbye Volcano High.
Yeah, we still don't know what that is. As Kyle Bossman said, this could be a Disney Plus show. I don't know. This is not a video game. But yeah, that was bizarre. Also, of course, it's not going to be as popular. Its peak, they put out like 4 games in 3 months. It was psychotic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. Next was Demon's Souls extended gameplay trailer. Holy shit, you guys, that looked tight.
Did you see the GIF that showed the comparison for loading?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Where it's like they show the tutorial area where you you kill some dudes, you hit up a sword that's kind of like a bonfire, and it just warps you to the next area in Demon's Souls. And in that, PS3 load 11 seconds. This half a second. Half a second, you're already in. And that half a second is just doing a cool little fog effect. So it doesn't feel like you're waiting for anything.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like a load screen at all. It was just your character disappearing and reappearing. Here, I found it. I'm going to post it.
It's so good.
Let me make sure this is... Yep, that's it.
It is the dream.
It really is. And it's fucking nuts. Here you go, Bob. Hit play on that. Please enjoy that gift from Shinobi602.
Oh my God!
Less than a second.
It's just like, and there he goes. He's off adventuring.
Yeah, that's insane.
Enjoying the game.
Shit.
Yeah.
Insane lighting. People are also noticing one of the bosses in the game, the Flame Lurker, looks like really like weird and fucked up in the original, and they kind of make him more epic-esque in this. And people are like, oh, they listened to feedback. His design in this new trailer is different, and people are going, wait, the way he looks a bit more fucked up here, what if he just starts breaking apart as you beat him up?
Oh, that's good.
And given the amount of like destructible environment stuff that they showed, like with the Guardian boss in this, I'm willing to believe that they're just going all in. This is a launch title.
Yeah, Demon's Souls has been confirmed for launch title. It looks absolutely stunning. Like, there's a chance this will be the watershed. How do I phrase this? This will be the hallmark, the bar by which every Souls game is judged from here on out. It looks so unbelievably solid and gorgeous.
That dragon is going to shoot fire at you on that bridge, and it's going to run at 60. On PS3, it ran at 3.
Yeah, no, that dragon appears and the frame rate tanks, and then he uses fire. Yeah. Jesus, don't even look at it.
Most people that reacted to it went, look, the frame rate. It's running.
At the best of times, Demon's Souls is like 22 frames a second.
Yeah, and this is like one of, if not their coolest Souls like world. They did so much great atmosphere and cool like location stuff in this that I adore. But seeing it in a game that looks good by any standard ever from any point in time is nuts. $70.
Yeah, it's $70. If you guys recall earlier this year on Big Think when we talked about the Take-Two thing, where they tried to put out a bad game and charge $70, I basically said, you probably shouldn't put out a bad game and try to charge $70. And Bob said, especially if you already have microtransactions in that are fucking scummy. But I brought up that somebody who used to work at Sony, I can't remember their name because the execs last gen just came and went, but he was there for a while.
Jack Tren?
No, after him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly the problem. Sorry, when I said last gen, I meant PS4. Because it's real now.
Eggman who does Stadia now?
No, it's not Phil Harrison. Phil Harrison's been missing from PS3 like early days. But yeah, no, he did an interview with the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, which is a really great podcast for listening to game devs talking about developing games, a thing you should do more often than you listen to YouTubers talking about developing games. Anyways, where they talk about the game budgets from the PS3 to the PS4 completely doubled and the price didn't move at all. And in his conversation, he doesn't say they're going to raise the price this gen, but it's clear that he's just underscoring there's a problem here. We can't go into another generation, charge the same price, and not have literal regression. And if that's Sony saying that, and Sony gets a better cut than third parties do of the sale, right? Like Sony sells the game, they get the whole profit plus subtracted whatever the retailer gets. Third parties have to pay Sony. So if they're saying that, that's obviously a thing for the larger industry. Microsoft's solution is to not make games.
Yeah, Microsoft's solution is to become a fucking parasite.
Like they're taking the advice that every person on Twitter goes, where it's like, oh, we'll stop making them so expensive. They're like, fine, we'll make $10, and that will be the budget for our game.
We'll release 2 games in a year that aren't early access. Potentially Gears of War Tactics. I'm pretty sure that was early access when it launched.
Please rate this app.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Battletoads.
We have some other Ori news later in this podcast.
What a great fucking year. Anyway, see, yeah, $70 is expensive. $60 is expensive. I didn't have money for $60 games. I totally understand not being able to afford $70 games. People are just going to buy fewer games and probably only spring for $70 games when it's something they absolutely want.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like I said, I think a lot of developers who make sevens that don't have niche appeal,
Right.
are going to learn a very painful lesson, specifically at the PS5 launch, Destruction All-Stars.
Yeah, I am one buying that because someone somewhere needs to. And 2, I have so we talked about every game they talk about during this. Guys, Destruction All-Stars is shown during a clip reel at the beginning with new footage, but they don't have a show for it. That game is a launch day game, and it's $70, and we know nothing about it.
Yeah,
What the hell are they thinking?
it's insane.
And all the first trailer was just like a concept cutscene,
Yes.
right? Where it's
Yes.
like, oh, cool, they cut the car in half, and I'm like, this is interesting. At the time, I'm like, this will be a cool, like $30-$40 game, and it's like, what do you mean $70?
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool, that'll be a nice multiplayer-focused $30 game next year, and then it's like, it's launch day, and it's $70, and I'm like, well, then tell me what it is, you fucking morons.
And then Sony's going to be like, I guess we just can't figure out how to make an online game work. We got to keep doing single player.
Good. Sure.
No.
Die
No.
for what I want.
No. I want them to do single player. I really appreciate Sony not being a fucking bitch-ass coward like so many devs did this gen, where they go, we can't make a single
It's
player.
over.
We got to do multiplayer. I really
Don't want that.
strongly appreciate Sony making game-like games instead of games as a service.
Game-shaped games.
Right? I really appreciate that. But I really need Sony to launch even one fucking multiplayer-focused goddamn game that is competent this gen. Because when you look at last gen, Last of Us 2's multiplayer didn't actually launch yet. Ghost of Tsushima's didn't launch yet. Killzone Shadowfall sure is there, and it's fine, but that was launch day 7 years ago.
Oh, there's Uncharted multiplayer.
There is Uncharted multiplayer.
And they're making that Last of Us multiplayer thing that might just morph into a new IP, maybe. I don't know. I could see them doing that.
But either way,
Smart.
we went most of this gen without any multiplayer stuff out of Sony. And
Yeah.
I thought that was a bummer because, multiplayer games are really fun, as it turns out. So get your shit together. Give me a fucking mini direct just on Destruction All-Stars, you fucks, because it's $70 and it's launch day and no one knows what it is. And I don't want you to do that thing you did at the end of the PS3 where you barely market a thing. You ship it and you go, well, no one bought it. Meh.
How about a state of play on the Tuesday of launch week?
And it's mostly about Abe's Odyssey.
Oh,
God, please. I don't want to see that game anymore.
we know exactly what it is. It plays just like a game that released on the PS1.
And look, it plays exactly like the remake of that game on the PS4.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, that's that. We're going to swoop back around to talk about what the launch lineup is in a minute. But for now, let's talk about PlayStation Plus Collection.
The thing that confused everyone to no end.
PlayStation Plus Collection.
Which is insane.
It's a great service for you to get 18 titles with your PlayStation Plus exclusively on PS5. It's old
I
PS4
You mean you have to pay
games.
for boost mode? I can't play my PS4 games unless I have PS Plus? I'm incapable of reading.
Well, at the same time, Sony should have included that in the fucking conference to be like, hey, it plays all your PS4 games, because somehow they're stupid enough to not notice 6 months of people saying, wait, the PS5 only plays 100 PS4 games?
Yeah,
It's really had to deal with that.
It's so insane. Sony needs to understand that everybody is an idiot and just plainly state everything your console can do.
Yeah. Instead,
they said a Washington Post, I guess. Jim Ryan's like, it'll play 99% of your PS4 games, because that covers his ass. And then I saw a bunch of people going, yeah, for the PS Plus collection. And people were like, they didn't. Why would you think that? He's like, they didn't say that isn't what it is.
The problem was
said Sony's communication is bad.
The problem is the article that was written by Gamatsu about that post, about that original story, phrases it in a very weird way grammatically that makes it sound completely related. They didn't start the sentence about the PlayStation Plus collection with the word also. So people thought it was correlated completely, 100%. I saw this in real time. It's awful. People have brain spiders and are illiterate, basically.
It's like, you thought you were free from this conversation, but no, it's warped in a new way.
It's okay.
I said before this podcast that people will put a PS4 game or try to launch one on PS5. It'll work, and they'll go, what the fuck, Sony lied.
Yeah, that'll probably happen. People are stupid. It's okay, though. You know what? These consoles launch. This console launches on the 12th of November. It costs $500 for the normal version, $400 for the digital edition. That is 2 months minus 5 days.
God, that's fast. That's close.
Right.
Jesus.
That's slightly closer than when Nintendo did their thing, where they're like, January event, March 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the Switch launch. Like, this is crazy close.
God. It's
good. It's going to fly by.
You tell me in less than 2 months I can play a variety of launch games that are making me shit?
Yes, and we will, in fact, talk about what the exact lineup is, a thing Sony should have done in this exact show. Astro's Playroom comes with every PS5.
Cool.
So that's great.
Just in there.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War seemingly comes out the next day. So in that
an odd choice.
In an odd choice, we have the weirdest week in gaming ever. You get the Series X, Series S 2 days before the PS5 on the 10th of November. The 12th, you get the PS5s, and then the 13th, you get the Call of Duty.
It's going to be a nightmare of a week.
Yeah, aren't you glad?
And on the 19th, God. Then on the 19th, when the PS5 comes out everywhere that isn't like America and the Anglosphere and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in any of those places, you get Cyberpunk with it.
Nice. Demon Souls is launch day. Destruction All-Stars is launch day. Both of those are $70. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is digital launch day, $40.
Putting on my clown shoes and buying a digital and physical version.
Yeah, the physical version is coming later. I know that they started pre-orders in various places, but I don't know if we got a date yet.
Yeah, I don't think we have a date. Godfall is coming launch day, and that's $70. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is apparently cross-gen, we found out after this event. And also launch day, we also found out after this event, and is $60.
Why are there so many things we find out after the event?
It was a nightmare. Jeff Keighley was running their PR for them, basically. And
yeah,
then
it is insane.
The last launch title that is exclusive to some extent, even though Devil May Cry 5, don't worry about it. Spider-Man Miles Morales, which, as we mentioned earlier, $50 for just that, $70 for the Ultimate Edition that has the upgraded 2017 Spider-Man with it, which is honestly fine. I just wish I didn't buy it earlier this year to get caught up for this exact game. I could have just bought the Ultimate Edition and then done a playthrough of that, and everyone would have been like, "Man, this is neat. Getting to see this game from 3 years ago in a much nicer quality." Thank you, Dan, for playing through the game in this quality.
I'd like to say fuck you, Sony, for having multiple PSN sales this year where that game was on sale, obviously trying to goad people into preparing their library for PS5, and then going, we tricked you.
Also, fuck them for announcing that and many of the other games on this list as PS5 exclusive and then revealing at a later date that they are, in fact, PS4 games. For example, Horizon Forbidden West is a PS4 game. That is the single most disappointing game to find out is cross-gen.
Yeah. I mean, I even have someone tell me that they don't, like, that's one of the main reasons they want a PS5, so they can just play that on PS4 now. It's like, you see what you're doing?
I mean, like, here's the thing. They literally said they had to limit biome diversity on the original Horizon because they couldn't load it fast enough off the hard drive.
Yeah.
Maybe the PS4 version will just be embarrassing.
Now, I say this with no cruelty.
The PS4 version is streaming a PS5.
I say this with no cruelty in my heart at all. I hope so, Phil. I hope it's dog shit.
I really hope.
Oh yeah, I'm not hoping out of cruelty. I'm hoping each biome is a zone and it's not truly open world and you have to load between zones on the PS4.
I just assume it runs at 900p and drops frames like shit on PS4 Pro.
Farm it out to a third-party dev.
Oh
Don't
my
even
God,
look at it.
Could you imagine? Vicarious Visions, Horizon, Forbidden West.
Nah, they're too busy making another
Iron
Tony Hawk game.
Galaxy.
No, that's true.
Iron Galaxy can do it.
Yes.
That actually would be kind of funny. But yeah, the important thing is we want the art, we want the game, we want the experience to be the best possible and not be hindered by last-gen compatibility. It's funny that this conversation constantly gets brought up in the reference to Halo Infinite, but Halo Infinite just looks like shit, period. So that only has a minimal amount to do with the last-gen compatibility, even though the elevators have everything to do with that. But let's not talk about that.
Oh, no.
We're going to sound off real quick on what games people are getting at launch. Let's run through Bob. Bob, what are you getting off of this list?
Demon Souls, Devil May Cry, Godfall, Spider-Man, and I might do Call of Duty. I'm still undecided on that.
Okay, KZ.
Demon Souls, Devil May Cry 5, Miles Morales. God. Godfall, probably? It looks good. If multiple people I know get it, I mean, that's a good thing.
Multiple, as in 2, not 3. That gets problematic.
Don't want to do that.
Close.
Maybe there'll be
I
raids
think it'll fall out.
with 4 people.
Is that Miles Morales going to be Ultimate or regular?
Ultimate, I need the good. I need all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also putting my clown shoes on.
God damn it. Feel, what of these games are you getting?
Demon Souls, Devil May Cry 5.
Twice.
Maybe Godfall. That one's only at like 60%. And,
Sorry, Danny, can't buy it now.
Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ultimate Honk Honk.
Okay.
Ultimate Honk Honk.
I'm an insane person. I've been clear with everyone at every step of the way. It's a new generation. Everything gets a chance. I'm getting all of these.
Yeah, I hate you because this whole time I wanted to say I kind of want all of them.
I'm going to be the canary in the coal mine for when it comes to this year's Call of Duty and Destruction All-Stars. You're all welcome. I will die for your sins.
Did they say how much Sackboy was? Is that 50?
60. Oh, 60. I just said that. Yeah.
That should be 50, but okay, I'll take it.
Whatever. It's like, I get that you don't like 3D World, but it's still the same style of game, and it looks really polished and good.
I'm not sure if
it loses its rights. It might have 8 directional movement.
Because that's made by the Sonic Team Racing guys. What's their name?
Sumo.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if they've ever made something that I feel like is a $60 game.
Crackdown.
They didn't do Crackdown. They did Sleeping Dogs.
No, dude, no, they did Crackdown 3. They did Crackdown 3. Yeah.
Oh, right. 12 different studios worked on that. I'm sorry.
It was 2 studios that split it into 2 pieces.
I just extend my leg to trip you while you're walking.
Excited for the definitive edition. Also, Dan, there's at least 4 studios listed on Wikipedia as developers.
On Crackdown 3?
Not on Wikipedia, but on Google. They say Sumo Digital, CloudGen, Ruffian Games, and Reagent Games.
No one knows what those other 3 are.
CloudGen sounds like people who would have worked on it when it involved more of the cloud.
Right.
Cloud juice. But yeah, no, I'll go into that mine and let everyone know how Destruction All Stars is, because I'm sure people are curious, but no one wants to spend $70 to find out.
Right? That could well be actually a big single player game too, and we just don't know.
Yeah, it could be a really hype fucking game or trash. I won't know until I get it. Apparently, Sony. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's real screwed up that this whole thing ended and it's like, okay, we need another one to explain this.
Yeah, like, this is the only event all year where we said, okay, it ended. It's very obvious they need another.
Because we didn't get anything about like the OS features, the share button.
The
create button.
The teardown they promised us 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's rough.
It is really rough. But yeah, I'm probably supposed to be madder about $70. I think what's more important is that we sustain a healthy variety of prices. Like Phil was talking about a moment ago. There are a lot. Most games don't justify a $70 price, and that's fine. Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people use this as the okay for their base level, their standard game to go up to 70. Even it's like something that genuinely shouldn't. Like, we didn't even dub this Japanese game we brought over.
I see. That's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm gonna go ahead and say various games like that. Dragon Ball Xenoverse is not gonna be $70. I'm gonna go ahead and wager.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse absolutely will be 100%.
Okay.
Bamco is insane. Any game with a Bamco license, Bamco will not release a game that is less than $70.
You excited for Jump Force 2 at $70?
Yes, that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, I know that one's gonna happen.
I expect the first year of this console, 2021, everybody's going to be unhinged, and a lot of people are going to take bullets and have to regain their sanity for 2022.
I have a gamer premonition.
Okay.
Atlas will become unhinged and try to sell Switch games for $70.
Huh. That's really unhinged.
Yeah, think about the 3DS games they sold for $50.
Yeah, they're like the Square Enix of the Switch, where all their games are $10 more for no reason.
Okay, so as we just said, Sony confirmed 99% compatibility, and that you get the advantages of the higher end hardware and the SSD playing PS4 games. You guys get to pick one game each you want to pop in your fucking PS5 on launch day. I'll go first since the punchline's already forgone. Fucking Mighty Number 9, duh. Bob, what is your game? Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition has saved your ass.
Right, it's no longer that. Oh, man. Oh, this is hard now. I'm really curious if Nier Automata, like, is fixed at all by all of this power.
That would be nice.
So I might do that.
Okay. KZ?
Kingdom Hearts 3, because we say that like every time we talk about the power of PS5.
Yes.
So it's like I'm a fucking fraud if I don't say that game. But also FF15, I want to see it load.
Yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is also near the top of my list. Man, those load times.
Can you imagine Final Fantasy 15 running at 60?
No.
See?
I can't. I can't. I was sold by a snake oil salesman long ago who directed that game saying, yeah, we'll get the game to run at 60 on the PS4 Pro.
I lack the complete mental faculties necessary to imagine the game at 60. I just can't do it.
I've seen it on PC. It looks scary.
Throwing out the meme choice of Mighty Number 9 and the Kingdom Hearts 3 disgusting levels of curiosity about those load times. Tony Hawk in a heartbeat, because I want to get those stat points as all the skaters, but it takes a little too long to load, and oh man, I got to do that 23 times? Fuck that. I'll wait for PS5. Mr. Feel.
Days Gone.
It's upsetting that I will probably go back into Days Gone before the end of this calendar year, but I don't think it will be the day I get it.
It's Unreal 4, baby. You gotta.
I'm going to say Fighters just to look at it in 4K.
I just want to see it load.
Oh, yeah. Any fighting game. Oh, Tekken. Jesus.
Tekken's topping my list. I need a digital copy of that.
But Fighters is the one that looks insane. So
yeah,
that's like above it for me.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. It'll run at 60, and you will clip through squeeze throughs so you can sprint through them.
It'll just make like a sound because each one's buttered.
I have a fear that Square Enix is just going to be like, put on your clown shoes. Here's the PS5 version.
God, they might. That's so gross.
And then I go, then me and KZ loop arms and put on our nose.
It's like,
it won't change. I've bought their games multiple times for alterated versions since well over a decade.
With each of those other releases, it felt like, okay, this is the whole game. Whereas with this, it's like, it's part one of the remake series.
Yeah, but it's a full game.
I don't care.
It's crazy.
If it doesn't have the JPEGs and they ripped out some squeeze throughs.
Yeah,
they're like in
I'll pay
this version
$70 more.
doing the post games. In this new version, doing the post game stuff for 7 Remake won't be some weird puzzle that you have to figure out.
Yeah, that why is that a nightmare?
I don't know.
It's like you beat the game and you get a checklist of question marks.
Go through this chapter, play 15 minutes to find a room where they have the post game battle.
If they had patched 7 Remake, I would feel better or more okay with them doing a PS5 version.
The fact they haven't patched is why I think they might.
Yeah, but that's also bad and insane, and that's literally anti-consumer. Like, you should polish up your game.
It sure is.
You should get it to maybe perform a little bit better. You should not just ship your game and go, it's on the disc, one and done, baby.
But no, they're totally right. It's going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake Final Mix.
Wait, so is it going to be remake?
No, it's remake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is complicated.
How was performance on that on base PS4? Because I don't remember any performance issues when I played.
I mean, it's not solid 30 on anything, so that would be nice. But you know, it's more the issues of I'm gonna walk up to a dude and we're gonna have a stare battle.
Yes.
I'm gonna walk up to a door and it might be a monster. Because
it's got to load.
It doesn't have a door texture. It has a spooky digital texture. Just there's a lot of things like that would have been nice to get an update to polish out. Because I literally put that game down and I wasn't gonna delay until the PS5 to pick it up again. I was gonna pick it up sooner based on what the patch notes said, but then there wasn't even one patch. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm waiting for PS5.
Yeah, I was like, surely they'll put a patch in here where it makes doing this post-game stuff sane.
I mean,
like,
yes,
those alternate dresses is like, what are you thinking?
It would be nice if you didn't have to play through 80% of a chapter to change the last 20% 2 additional times.
Yeah, it would be neat if every time you do that dress segment, you don't have to do the robot arm puzzle and like an hour-long arena section before getting to that part.
Yeah.
Hi, I have the platinum.
Yeah, no.
I got the platinum 1 week after launch.
Whereas I was like, no, they're gonna fix this. I was wrong. now I look like the clown.
which is funny because Kingdom Hearts 3 had some shit that got fixed.
Right? That's what gave me confidence.
yeah, no, Kingdom Hearts 3 had great post-launch support, actually. But yeah, that's the PS5 minute. I feel overall, I'm really positive about what's showing up. That Demon Souls game looks so much better than any Souls game ever has before. I'm legitimately excited to play it.
FromSoft will never be able to match it, and that's scary.
Once again, as I said during the stream, there are 2 great tragedies in this world. One's getting what you want, the other one's not getting what you want.
Whatever, I wanted this one real bad.
I mean, I'm seeing that comparison image between the PS3 version of that monster in the trailer and the PS5, and I'm losing it. I'm stroking out staring at this.
Look at the lighting.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Look, when they went through fog doors, we're just losing it.
Yeah, no, it was a great thing.
It doesn't need to load that.
It's so good. It's so good. Very exciting.
That said, I need to mention it. Fix that you died text. It looks so goofy and bad.
Yeah, because it's holding too faithful to the original.
To the point where I'm like, you could have used Comic Sans, and I somehow feel like it would have looked better.
We haven't brought up the major thing that came out after the event. PS5 pre-order Armageddon.
Yeah, what a nightmare. We all lived this
How are we all
nightmare.
looking?
I have two
I have
pre-ordered.
2, and I'm gonna have 3 when I get into the Sony Chosen One dimension.
So to clarify for people who don't realize, the problem is that some of the places that were doing pre-orders the day of this event, the things Sony explicitly told us they wouldn't have happen, they said they would give us heads up, those fucking liars. Colossal fuck-ups over there. Anyways, some of those places were like Walmart, and we don't know whether or not to trust Walmart with pre-orders. They have fucked up in the past.
Mm-hmm. That was like the first place I saw that had pre-orders, and I basically got in on that first wave and got my copy, which they charged me for twice. Yeah, that's not. 1, didn't know they charge immediately. 2, didn't know they charge you twice to put a hold on it to make sure you can afford it, which I imagine works for things you buy that are $20.
Right.
God.
Not $525 or something like that. Or it was like $540.
Yeah.
Which is, it's actually strange. They still haven't charged me.
And I'm like, all right, I'll hold it. I'm going to hold that in my Amazon pre-order and hope one of them works out.
Yeah, we actually had a hurricane hit us the day of the event, and luckily the tower and internet didn't go out, but of course every GameStop's closed.
Right.
So as all these GameStops are selling all these PS5s, we're just losing it because our
master plan.
Yes, our master plan involving Dead Island 2 being a secret bank account. We slipped the amount of money we needed to pre-order the PS5 in. This plan was falling apart, and we were starting to worry. But we got connections, and they're like, don't worry about it.
This is a Seinfeld episode, Dan.
They're like,
it's like you finally did it. You had your plan. You had it all good. What do you mean a hurricane hit?
somebody walks in, they see 4 PS5s, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, forgive me for trying to class up the place.
You will be on the news.
So we have connections. We get it done. The GameStop order seems safe. And then they just lightly whisper like, hey, you know what would be great? If you helped our attachment numbers. That, for people who don't know, that's the amount of software sold at a GameStop relative to the system pre-orders they got.
Right.
Because they make money on the software and accessories. They don't make money on the system. It was my first time experiencing how real the pressure was with that was with the PlayStation Vita, where I picked it up at GameStop, but I picked up the games and the memory stick or whatever from the Target, and the person gave me this stink eye at GameStop. I'm like, what? You didn't offer a free card. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, these cards are like $500. I need to do this.
It's $500. It's an SSD. Sony told me.
Yeah, it gives you 100 megabytes.
It gives you 23 megabytes. But yeah, anyway, so we've got our backup plan.
Yeah, we got this backup online orders and then this. So
I think we're covered.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're safe.
That hurricane really fucked us on that, though.
Yeah, no, we were scared.
That was a perfect worst case scenario of they pushed back this moment, this reveal, until hurricane season, and then a hurricane lands the day of.
But luckily, just as I suspected, like each store gets an allotment, so they can probably get that in. Man, we keep talking about how fast these are selling.
Uh-huh.
The Xbox is going to go on pre-order. Okay. The day after this podcast goes up.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's going to be the Tuesday of the week.
I have. Here's my premonition.
Oh no.
Nothing will crash.
Oh no.
GameStop's website will not go, we're being DDoS'd. No, you're blocked. Like what happened with the PS5 pre-orders.
Yeah, like every single gigantic retailer website went down for these PS5 pre-orders. It took down Walmart.
Went down while recording.
Yeah.
That won't happen. And instead of what will turn out to be the case of many fewer people pre-ordering Xbox consoles, game journalists will spin this as, see what happens? Microsoft was prepared. They let everybody get ready, so nothing went down. And then when doing it. They're already doing it. And then when the consoles come out and a tenth as many Xboxes sell as PlayStations, those people will never mention that fact and will continue to pretend like they aren't giant fucking clowns.
Well, yeah, that's because Microsoft's not going to mention that fact. They're not going to publish a single number saying how many systems they sold. However, they will absolutely do a press release where they say, hey guys, we sold out of our first shipment. And then they'll never mention it again.
By the way, retail. I don't know whether the discless PS5. I don't know if it was always intended as solely an upselling tactic, but nobody wants that thing. Sony didn't even send people that many, or are sending them that many.
Yeah,
like everything people are saying is like 8-to-1 physical digital.
Yeah. I'm sad about the packaging. I wish the disc version had the cool black box.
Agreed.
They made the digital one look sexier.
Which makes me wonder, is that going to be the case with the Series X and Series S, or is Microsoft forcing retailers to take half and half of something that will not move?
What if...
I mean,
my brain almost wanted to imagine, what if it's like 60-40 in favor of the S?
I think it might be that.
That's so insane. Like, I don't think retailers would bite. Like, this it's all digital.
Yeah, the Xbox One, Xbox sad.
That thing was just a shelf filler. It did not move.
I mean, based on everyone I've talked to who works retail, so was the One X.
I know.
How many do you think you'd sell in like a month in your experience of the sad?
Maybe one.
Thought it'd be at least like 3.
Yeah, if you recall, I think it was last week on Big Think, he talked about when they went to close the store, they still had like, what, 8?
Yeah, none of them moved. And it was not like, that wasn't weird for the store at all. Like, the high-level manager who was over multiple stores came in and was like, anybody taking bets on how many of these are actually going to sell? Like,
so they know.
Yeah, everyone knows those things don't move.
I think, and this is my faith in humanity has gone up, because I really think everyone has internalized, don't buy a digital-only console.
Yeah,
I think that's just built into everybody's DNA. I don't think either of these digital-only boxes are going to sell for shit. I think anybody... Yeah. I think the PS5 digital will sell more because of people going... Because at launch, they will all sell. But I think in a year, it's going to be so overwhelmingly physical sales that Sony might just quietly stop making the digital one.
Yeah, I'm someone who is pretty much entirely digital with games. I'm still getting a disc version. I want to watch Blu-rays on it. And that, this is going to also be a media box for me.
Right.
And like, it would just end up being it would be a downgrade from my PS4 if I didn't have the ability to just watch whatever I want on it.
Yeah, a lot of people have like fully moved over to Netflix and stuff and just don't watch Blu-rays, but it's like
after watching certain Blu-rays, I cannot do that.
I know, right? It's not easy. It's those people I told themselves that the streaming experience is the best experience. That's the 4K version. That looks better than anything you're getting elsewhere. Which is wrong, but
Bob, I've heard Netflix 1080p looks the same as Blu-ray 1080p. Now, based on your time with the Gundam Wing Blu-rays, KZ, would you agree?
It was G Gundam and Gundam 00. Though 00 does have a wing energy. No, I didn't even expect 00 to look this good because it was like the first one that came out around HD time.
Yeah,
but boy, does this blow out my ass!
Like I remember when we started watching that Han Solo Star Wars movie on Netflix. And it was like, this looks so bad we can't even see what's happening in the scene. We went and rented the Blu-ray. I was like, okay, now we can see it.
Yeah, we went to a Redbox. We rented the Blu-ray, not even a 4K Blu-ray, just a normal fucking Blu-ray. Came back, popped it in, and it looked fine. The reason why, the opening scene's very dark, so it compresses the ever-loving shit out of it. It looks terrible.
Yeah, this is the one time where I'm like, yeah, absolutely going physical for like films and TV shows and stuff, because I actually want it to look the way it should.
I just have a lot of PS4 discs, so I need it to be able to take those.
Yeah.
Well,
Sony hasn't confirmed it can do that.
Shut
Don't
the
even
fuck up.
joke.
No, they just require that you have PS Plus.
Guys, it's 2020. Satire's dead. Everyone's fucking stupid.
It's tragic. Tragic.
It's very tragic. We got to move on.
Sure.
Feel. Bust them out.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's whip through this shit. So, CNET Group, which is Giant Bomb, GameSpot, and Metacritic, presumably some other things, but the ones I said are the one that matter.
GameFAQs.
Were sold to Red Ventures. This is a rut-row for a couple reasons. First, they were sold for $500 million. They were purchased in 2008 for $1.8 billion. So 25% of their value, not even counting inflation, like, whoa. Red Ventures has no experience in any of these fields. This is them trying to get into those fields. Double rut-row. Every website they run looks like... Have you ever gone to, like, the wiki for a specific franchise?
Yeah.
and seen some horrible website you never saw in the margins?
Ugh. Yeah.
Like Zergnet.
Don't talk about Zergnet.
Or, I can't think of any others, but all their websites are like that. Every single one of them.
For people who don't know, like, these are the websites that are a collage of headlines that are, like, avatar sized.
And are
They're
weird,
like little-
and are not specific about anything. It's all shit like 5 tips to get the most out of your fridge.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actual news.
This person's arm exploded because of this.
Yeah, it's like that. Like, I'm gonna read their websites. If you've ever heard of any of these, chime in.
Yeah.
My Move,
No.
Healthline,
No.
Next Advisor,
No.
Bankrate,
No.
Greatest spelled like list at the end, not the acronym great, not the not the adjective greatest.
No.
I'm gonna take that as
No.
Medical News
I'm trying to
Today,
figure that out.
No.
Best Colleges,
No. What?
Come on.
the letter U Switch.
What? A Switch? Jesus Christ.
Nintendo?
The Points Guy,
I'm done.
Yeah, we need to stop. This is all tire.
and IQ.
Come on. These are the crucible of websites.
Yeah. So that's concerning as all hell. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? So that sucks because Giant Bomb's in that list. Jeff Gerstmann deserves better.
Yeah.
Like-
I agree.
If I can't see them just leaving Giant Bomb alone and being like, sure, you guys are fine, make us money. It's gonna be like, we hired 84 Zoomers to write articles on the fucking the 5 best spots you can see ray tracing in this trailer.
Woof.
Yeah. Giant Bomb's a weird website too. It's just like they just do
All
video
personality
podcast
shit.
content. Yeah, it's personality stuff and premium memberships and a wiki.
At least they got that premium membership.
And then
Yeah.
in better news, Tony Hawk 1 Plus 2 is the fastest game in the series to reach 1 million in sales. I presume it made that on its first day.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
I have a strong feeling that we're going to be seeing at the very least 3+4, like maybe next year.
Yeah, I want 3 DLC and 4 full game because 3 and 4 are pretty different. But yeah, no, I
let's see.
really want them to make more for sure.
Yeah.
EA is ditching the term or the brand Origin. The Origin app is now the EA desktop app.
It's so dumb.
It's funny, but moving right along. Left 4 Dead 2 is getting a new update, a new official update. It was a community project. Valve gave them support and officially endorsed it. It has like new monsters. I think it has a couple new levels, new weapons. I think it's like a big expansion. So that's neat. I was
that's
like,
cool.
did Valve make something? And then it was like, oh no, they did not. So nothing has changed.
Nah. I think Binding of Isaac's also doing that. Like they have that new expansion coming out, and they're taking a fan expansion that was made and also just putting it in there, making it.
Yeah, I think I played that expansion. That makes sense because it was better than a lot of the content the creator made.
I mean, we're never getting Left 4 Dead 3, so it's neat that they're doing this.
Don't talk about that. I get angry.
And finally, the 3DS has officially ceased production. So long, you little shit.
Yeah, that got announced at the same time as PS5 pre-orders, which I think is funny.
There are certainly enough of these produced where scarcity isn't going to be a problem for a long time. Even still, my first thought with
revisions.
Yeah, right. My first thought with them ceasing production is always like, okay, how's scarcity look? And luckily, those consoles don't explode like PS3s and 360s. And they certainly made plenty of them and plenty varieties of them. I think will be good.
Yeah. I'm sad, though. This is it. We're never getting Mighty Number 9 on 3DS.
Don't give up hope yet.
I'm also sad about that. I wanted to see them try.
Well, you know, they had a pretty big announcement lined up for Tokyo Game Show. Bob, do you want to tell them what it ended up being?
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, no, Inti Creates was teasing their next big game and then it accidentally got leaked. A new Galgun game.
Yeah, it's Galgun.
Yep, that's
It's always so weird to me that nobody ever talks about how Inti Creates like makes one of the most blatantly creepy and perverted like anime style games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like they named that second one that wasn't 2, a Galgun double piece. They named it after a genre of porn image.
Yep.
It's so bizarre to me that everybody's not like that. Everybody isn't like, that's weird.
No, we're just going to talk about how they make bootleg versions of Mega Man games. We're
gonna talk about how Capcom should hire them to do more things because they make good 2D games because I don't play any.
The guys that making Dragon's Crown, those are weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Jason Schreier. The teacher from Recess is right there, Mrs. Crandall. She'll
God.
She'll see you now.
That bitch.
This is horrible. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to KZ for his news. We'll finish on your thing.
Sure.
KZ.
Oh, okay. Now, we have said quite a bit that we don't like the new name for Gods and Monsters, which is Immortals Phoenix Rising. They even said at the Ubisoft Forward event that they're like, we felt that this name really fit the game and worked for it a lot more. As it turns out, they changed the name because there was a trademark dispute between Monster Energy Drink. So instead of getting in trouble with them, they just changed the name.
I want to see the Gods and Monster can.
Yeah, I'm confused why there was. I'm not even sure if I believe this. Because why doesn't Monster Hunter have a problem with Monster Energy Drink?
My guess is literally they have a trademark for a can of Monster drink they haven't released yet. There is that exactly.
Why doesn't the game Little Monsters have an issue with this? Why didn't the movie Little Monsters have an issue with this? It's so strange. Like I'm not gonna say, I don't completely disbelieve it because copyright is insane, or a trademark is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what? Why all these other games with monsters in the title are all fine, but not Gods and Monsters?
Yeah, my only guess is literally they have that exact phrasing, Gods and Monster, and it's going to be out this summer or something.
I'm gonna drink it and it's gonna be good. And I'll die. So, Bob, you played Disintegration, right?
Yes. I had to think about what that was.
Think about it. That's
this guy. Someone who
I didn't know what it was until Casey just said Bob played it. I'm like, oh, it's that thing that said it was bad. That's right.
Yeah, with the grav cycle stuff.
Yeah.
You said there were issues like getting matches in multiplayer.
Right.
They announced they're getting rid of multiplayer entirely from all versions.
The game doesn't have a single player, does it?
It does.
What? Okay, I guess the free-to-play
it has to, because they just made the announcement that they're removing the multiplayer features from all versions of the game.
What?
Yeah, they want to shut down those servers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty dire.
Man.
Like, I saw that and I was like, Oh yeah. We're making the difficult decision to remove the multiplayer modes from the game across all platforms. This will be done in phases over the coming months.
Then you can play the tutorial.
Starting today with the removal of the in-game store.
Oh.
And then by November 17th, the multiplayer will just be gone. There is a single player campaign. They mention it in their blurb here.
It seems to barely be a campaign. It seems to be more like we put some text boxes over playing with bots.
Oh man, this is rough.
That's pretty dire.
Like this looks a lot. This looks basically like, oh, we're cutting and running.
I'm glad I played it.
Again, this was like a new studio, like Private Division, like picked them up. And the dude in interview said, yeah, a lot of people didn't believe in what we had here and kept saying, cut the multiplayer, you can't handle it.
Oh, surprise, they were right.
It's a shame. Well, one last bit of news, and then we get to Bob's thing.
Okay.
Apple did their event. Every year they do a September event. What happens is the phones, they get the OS update that was announced in the summer. They get a new phone, and then occasionally they get another new product out, whether that's an iPad, an Apple Watch, whatever, something. Their phone's behind schedule development-wise. There's no phone. They didn't acknowledge it. Fuck you. Enjoy your phone OS update. That phone is nowhere to be seen. However, they did announce 2 new models of iPad. They updated the iPad Air line, where it's a lot more in line with the Pro model. It looks a lot sleeker, and the fucker has a USB Type-C. Thank God. Fuck the lightning cable. It also has a lot of the advanced features from the Pro, and I believe has the latest gen of CPU in it. So it's a real beast of a thing for $600. They did a really funny thing that they tend to do, where they're just like, here's our performance relative to other things. The iPad has twice as much performance as this HP laptop. It has 3 times as much performance as an Android tablet, and it has 6 times the performance of a Chromebook. And I'm like, come on, man, he's already dead. Fucking leave Chromebook alone. Come on.
As an owner of a Chromebook.
Yeah, no, it's like that shit. What are you trying to bully 10 guys to look cool? Like, come on, man. There was never a threat from that camp. Stop pretending you need to impress specs-wise with that.
You're so mean.
They also did the one of the lower-end iPads. I think it's just called iPad. They refreshed that, so it's got a USB Type-C and better specs, which is cool. And then they announced the Apple Watch. Now, announcing feature differences for Apple Watches is already weird because it's a watch. But guys, it took me staring at the fucking product page for like, I don't know, 5 minutes to figure out what the resounding difference was, and I'm ready to break it down for all of you. You ready?
Yes.
The battery time is better. Don't ask how much better. The battery life is better. Don't ask how much. The screen is always on now. It has been for the last version, maybe 2. I think it's only the last version, the Series 5. But now when it's not activated, it's brighter.
What?
Why?
So you can see it outdoors more easily. It's 2.5 times brighter in the normal showing a watch face, not interacted with mode. And then the third critical feature, actually, I guess there are 2 in this bizarre category of feature. Feature number 1, it'll tell you your elevation. For when you go hiking, of course. Because you go hiking so much that you need your watch to tell you your level of elevation. That's important. And the second main feature, it'll tell you how oxygenated your blood is.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the new Apple Watch. It's $400. There is a budget Apple Watch called the Apple Watch SE that just has guts from the Series 5. That's $279. That's a budget Apple Watch. $279, over twice what I paid for mine. Jesus Christ. And yeah, Apple isn't going to talk about their phone. Their phone's MIA. That's really rough. Because that's the only thing that fucking actually matters. But hey, Bob.
Hey.
I hear Nintendo had a partner direct.
They did.
Mini direct. Let me just type that in for you. 1 second. Mini. There we go.
It's important. This is actually had some pretty cool stuff in it, though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's the one I slept through is the actual good one.
Right? They led off with Monster Hunter Rise, which is the brand new Monster Hunter game for the Switch. It's going to be out this March on the 26th, or next March on the 26th. We're already past this March. And they've added a ton of movement options. Like you have a grappling hook thing that can go basically anywhere. It like shoots into the midair and you grab from it. It's like some weird bug that has a spring.
Yeah, they call it a wire bug. You throw out the bug and then you yank the cable and the bug stays in midair to pull you.
You can run straight up walls.
It's fucking stupid.
Yes.
You get a dog to ride. You can ride the dog straight up walls.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rapide in Tales of Vesperia. Like cool little combat dog.
They're selling a giant plush of him. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
It's like 55 inches. It's crazy. What else? It has like a new setting completely, like whole new maps designed around it. Doesn't load between areas. It's more like Monster Hunter World in that sense. But it looks like there might be something akin to loading hallways.
Yeah, there's no loading,
really
and then
funny.
they showed a Tony Hawk American Wasteland loading tunnel, and I'm like, uh-oh.
That was
it's a
really
Switch
funny.
game.
Just while they say it, they show you the hallway. Also, that it's on RE Engine.
Oh, is it?
I missed that.
Yes,
Cool.
which
Damn.
gets me excited because I'm like, yes. And when I see Monster Hunter World 2's RE Engine game, I will shit.
It's got like a more Japanese aesthetic to the environment. It looks like story gates and all that sort of stuff. And then they announced a second Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. It comes out next summer. We don't know much about this. It has the anime art style just like the first Monster Hunter Stories game did, and I don't know how those games play exactly because I never played the last one.
And they didn't show us here
They didn't show us any of that.
at all.
They also did a separate Monster Hunter Direct right after this. The only new info in there is, hey, we're releasing amiibos for Monster Hunter Rise.
Those amiibos look cool, but holy shit, they didn't need to do a Monster Hunter mini direct right after the Nintendo partner mini direct.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah, it was just them narrating what we saw already.
Like
The trailer for the Monster Hunter Stories 2 kind of makes me think that maybe that Switch Pro is probably real.
Was
Just because I'm imagining that at 4K.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because the trailer ran at 60, I think.
I'm just saying, like, we have a couple of
Nothing runs
meaty
on
games
Switch.
coming out on Switch in March.
Yeah, no, that
And maybe they were positioned there for a reason.
I mean that seems like Monster Hunter is usually on the forefront of that sort of thing.
Although Monster Hunter Stories, the first one, they had a bunch of 1080p gorgeous looking promo footage and images for the 3DS game, and everybody was like, oh, that means it's getting a Switch version, right? No, never. So it could just be that again.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like with Stories, I think everything's a much more smaller, divided sort of game. It probably can run at 60 without much issue, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Looks really
could
nice.
see
I
Rise
do
being
hope
positioned
that,
for Switch Pro.
I do hope the Switch Pro is real so I can play that game in 4K, maybe.
Right?
Looks nice.
Then they showed off Fitness Boxing 2, which comes out on December 4th. And Dan was very angry because we bought Fitness Boxing 1 and haven't played it yet.
Yep. Yep. I'm going to quietly slink off. Hopefully you don't hear my clown shoes.
Hopefully we don't hear you unwrapping a mushroom Swiss.
I'm going to boot Fitness
Unwrapping it.
Boxing, and it's just going to be me doing the Only God Forgives pose.
No.
One bizarre part of this trailer is
That's
like
the Phil Spencer pose.
you can play it without doing boxing moves, and I was like, what?
Yeah, if you go watch the stream, which will come over to YouTube eventually, of me and Bob watching this, they're like, you can set a mode so there's no boxing. And me and Bob just giving each other this look of, what the fuck?
What's going on?
You're right. I'm like, even if you're just doing like weaving and stuff, that's still boxing.
You could set this mode to turn off the screen. You could set this mode where nothing you do affects the game.
You can hit this
We
button
call
and it
that
turns
real
the
life
console.
mode.
It's like that Rock Band mode where you can't fail for playing in the background parties in case you want to play Fitness Boxing's epic soundtrack in the background of your party.
Hell yes.
This one has new songs. It's very exciting. You get more customization with your main people. There are more main people. They all look like they're from Pokemon Go.
Yes.
It's a real strong aesthetic with that game. Yeah, that comes out December 4th. Now, Bob, let's talk about the most important news.
Yeah, I know. I did not expect this. This is really cool. Disgaea 6.
Yes, Sam.
This has full 3D graphics. This is the first time we're seeing 6.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
It's
Like, I was like, whoa, what?
They've only announced it for Switch in the US so far. It's announced for the PS4 in Japan, but for some reason...
they specifically said they had no comment on the PS4 version, which either
Yeah.
means they have some weird marketing thing with Nintendo where they're not allowed to talk about it, which I could see, because getting into any kind of Nintendo thing is a big deal. Or Nisa just, like I said on Twitter, Nisa loves going, what is a W, but 2 L's, and then snapping it in half.
But this is the most exciting the series has been in a long time. I'd say since 4 when we saw the full graphic overhaul for that. This 3D graphics look neat. I think the new protagonist has a good, like, really lame energy to him. Kind of makes me feel like the Laharl and Disgaea 3's guy of like, man, you're super lame. But I like this.
Yeah, this is what I want from a Disgaea character. Loud, annoying, shitty loser energy.
Yeah, I liked
Could possibly
Killia.
kill anyone.
I liked Killia, but like as a weird side effect of him being relatively competent and cool, everybody around him had to kind of be the worst.
Yeah, I think 5 has the weakest cast in the whole series, so it's really exciting to see this.
He's like a zombie?
Yeah, he seems to be a zombie.
Yeah, he's a zombie.
The trailer goes into like, now levels go even higher and damage goes into the trillions. I was like, great.
They showed the numbers. They go past the screen.
Yes.
It was
And I'm
really
like,
funny
Sure.
when they were like,
I'm gonna grind this candy bar. Go inside the candy bar world.
their new max damage 99,999,9999. I was losing it. I was
Times
like,
9.
That's a good trailer.
It looks like even backgrounds are going to see an overhaul. Like those backgrounds look better than I see any backgrounds in the old games, where before it was 2D characters on 3D planes. So you'd think they'd have plenty of room for good 3D assets there. They never did. So seeing a graphical overhaul of the 6th, I did not expect to ever see with Disgaea. I'm pretty hyped.
I'm glad this is actually happening. I mean, NIS in Japan seems like they ain't doing too great.
Right?
Yeah, they keep trying to launch like gotcha games, and they don't realize they ain't nobody care, bro.
Yeah, they keep trying to put phone games in there like that'll save us, and then they all bomb real bad.
Yeah. No. It seems like the Switch is
no
the
one
only
wants to
place
wail
that,
for them.
that was getting them good sales. So I totally get like getting a partnership with Nintendo and doing this.
I don't even know if that's true. I really think it was just Disgaea 5 Complete because it launched right there at the start of the Switch. Like a month later. It launched a month after the launch of the Switch.
Yeah, but
They talked about how much it just destroyed in sales compared to the original release.
Yeah, and I think they even said that for the other re-releases they did. Like, wow, the Switch is actually doing well for us.
Still, like, it's never gonna go well when it's like, we made a version of the game, you can't have it.
Yeah, no, that's a bad look.
Especially
no matter what.
when it's on a better platform. Oh, I'm sorry, Switch fans. I don't care if you're annoyed by that, though. Fuck you.
Hopefully the pro's out by this point and it'll work fine.
Yeah,
Man,
like
nothing can be objectively better about consoles. It's all subjective, like load times, frame rates, resolution.
I'm sorry that I want the relatively low budget game that just got into having 3D graphics to have the highest render resolution possible.
I just want it to load
help
back.
them.
Fucking Smash Bros. God.
Oh yeah, also that.
Maybe they can't announce it because they have some sort of PS5 thing going on.
Only
that was
possible
also a
on
thought
PS5,
that, like,
Yes.
$70.
Yeah, I was thinking like
I'll buy
maybe
$70 for this guy. I shouldn't, but I'll do it in a second.
I mean, to be
I'll do
fair,
it.
that's
So will I.
value. That game is 300 hours long.
I almost sat there and bought the $100 one they put on their website today.
Jesus. Fuck.
but I did think like, what if they didn't announce it because it's gonna be a PS5 version in the West?
Yeah, maybe.
I'll put on my clown outfit, which looks like a prinny, and I'll do it.
Okay, I guess we should move on to the next thing. Well, I'll get this right. Blaine Wonder World. And
Yes.
March 26th. It's coming out. It's on the way.
Balin.
Oh, no. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
everyone.
you kind of just said Blaine, like the guy from Pokemon.
David Blaine Wonderworld.
Yes.
Barry Wonderland is coming out March 26th.
Oh my god,
Got a Chow Garden in it.
I wish that was its name. Barry Wonderland sounds like a fucking great game.
Banal Wonder World.
It's just really great.
Pass out.
That's still a game.
Keira
We have a
Knightley.
date now.
Keira Knightley Underworld is coming out March 26, 2021 on the Switch.
Does it have Cape
Yeah.
Beckinsale?
No.
Ah, darn it.
Sorry, she
Then
couldn't.
there's no. It's not worth getting.
Oh. Hey, Bob,
But
what?
yeah, this still looks like a fun platformer.
There's something else that might be worth getting on the Switch?
There's something else that's coming up to the Switch that's real
okay.
funny.
Oh, that's...
Came out today.
Oh, that's... Wow. That's sudden. Okay, what is it?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Hits Switch.
Now, I don't have coffee in my mouth, but imagine me spitting coffee.
You know, that it sounded like Phil Spencer wanted to stop, but he couldn't, I guess. This is apparently going to run at 60.
That's what made me shit my pants because the Xbox couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's weird. Excited to play Halo Infinite on the PS5.
There's also apparently a physical collector edition coming out from IM 8-Bit that comes with Ori 1 and 2 for the Switch. That's neat.
Yeah, bunch of little extra stuff. They showed like a box opening, a little animation. It looked nice.
Anybody else have anything to say about Ori and the Will of the Wisps?
No.
No, we just gave it more marketing than Microsoft did.
Okay.
I played half of the first one and I was like, that's okay. I don't really feel motivated to ever look at this franchise again.
I like how you said that with the first game was out. Like this franchise, that's one game.
Well, I mean, I thought that when I looked at the sequel, I'm like, that looks neat, but it looks basically like the first game, which I played half of, and was like, okay, I had enough.
I was really surprised that this showed me anything that I hadn't seen before in the trailer. Like, apparently the dude has a melee weapon now. I was like, that's different.
Yeah, they showed that in trailers.
I
Like at like E3 shows, like the melee weapons and the more combat and Will of the Wisp.
Huh. Oh, well. Then the other...
Well, they showed it at like 18 E3, so it's easy to like for it to merge together and disappear.
Right, and it always starts with some gigantic, like, oh, it's sad. Don't get sad now. We're going to be about story. And then I pass out. And apparently at some point they put gameplay in it.
Microsoft's like, whoa, what if this is our artistic Naughty Dog? And now they're gone.
Rune Factory 5 was shown off. It's coming out sometime in 2021. We don't know when. But it has like full 3D graphics. It looks pretty nice. This is
Yeah,
the
I like the
farming / adventure.
This had the
RPG.
anime ass song, right?
Yeah, it also had the anime opening that started it up, and I was like, please show me the game too. I like this anime opening, but come on. And that's everything for that direct. I think it was really solid. Like that was the best one of these partner directs, probably.
I want this to be how they do them from now on, where they keep shovelware out and they put actual games in them.
Yeah, this
not Creed Champions.
This could have had a single Nintendo game, and they could just call this a direct.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yes, it felt like it.
If they just put that Zelda game in, the Warrior Zelda, that would have been fine. This could have been just a full Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ori game coming over to Switch makes my eyes spin out. I roll them so hard because, like, as you said, Phil Spencer's like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. And then he did it again, and I'm like, what's happening?
They're losing control. These make you lose control.
I don't fucking know. Anyway,
it's sad. I'm like, I want Ori on the PlayStation. I want to play on the PlayStation controller.
I just want Rare Replay to come to a platform more people own.
That'd be neat.
I really like Rare Replay. I think it's great.
Yeah. Some nice extra features.
Yeah.
Presentation.
It could be
cool.
4K on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. KZ could get some 4K Banjo-Tooie on his Switch. Pro. But yeah, Rune Factory 5 also looked great, and Disgaea 6 getting announced is super great. So overall, really solid.
I'm so happy about that. Like I was so worried that it's like, no, they're gonna get shut down. Nisa's gonna have to rebrand to some other localization company name.
Yeah.
We won't get another disguise. So that's good news. The Monster Hunter Rise looked really good to me, because I think I'm not a fan of like the older Monster Hunter games. This looks a lot closer to World, just in terms of like how the combat looks, but it looks like a faster version of it because of some of the new things they added, like using that grappling hook laser thing to shoot yourself forward and then get an axe out and slam down onto an enemy.
Yeah, I have to wonder if they're going to rebalance things. So I know a ton of my strategy was finding places I could get a jump on an enemy and then get a like cool grab attack or something. And if you can just do that anywhere, it's like, okay, how are you going to change things?
Yeah, jumping onto enemies has always been, in World, is pretty easy. I mean, I also like main the insect glaive, so you can just
the insect
on top of them instantly.
Right, and that's the thing with the insect glaive. You can do that at any point, but now it's anybody can do it.
Yeah, but you don't get the grab all the time. You get it like every so often. Like this time you did an attack on them, and now you're grabbed onto them. So it's not always instant. But Iceborne added the claw you shoot at the enemy that grapples you onto them.
Oh, yeah.
And has its own mechanics. And that you can do so long as you hit them with it. And you kind of like shoot pellets into their eyeball to make them run forward into a wall. It's real sick. So I'm really excited for that. I hope a Switch Pro is out so it'll run well.
That'd be nice. Or at least
yeah, because it looked
really,
chunky.
really
It looked chunky at points.
Yeah.
Like they turned the camera and I got a little sick.
Well, there you go. That's the news for this episode of Big Think Dimension. Bob and I will do things in the next week. Who knows what? Check out our Twitch, twitch.tv/GigaBoots. KZ, what are you doing?
Breathing.
Okay. Mr. Feel, what are you doing?
I guess, I'm playing Detroit at some point.
I'm sorry.
No!
I'm sorry.
I know nothing about it, so that'll be fun. I know it's about racism.
Yeah.
Dan.
It sure is.
Dan. I need you to tell me a funny thing to end the podcast. Need to shoot us full of life right now.
I got this. Let me check my replies on Twitter.
Okay, here we go. Yes.
God, there's so many replies.
I'm a patient man. It's fine. They cut that out of Netflix. Sorry to remind you.
Oh, you like that thing I retweeted just now?
Yeah, you sure retweeted one of your replies. Let me see. What was the original tweet? Oh,
not gonna talk about that.
Do you have another reply that can be said out loud to end the podcast?
Yeah, working on it.
Oh, okay, good. Because man,
nope, not reading that.
Twitter's a hellscape.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. See, most of the time my replies are just people posting that frog, but it's a mouse now.
Cheese to meet you.
Yes. I woke up to one today that was just that frog mouse, but it was Virgil.
Can we hit stop now?
We're waiting for this reply.
No, we're just cue the music at a random point, KZ.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast, so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by our lordly executive producers: Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, We Fall Now, and the Ghost of Adam Admar implores you to play more Saga. Thank you very much to our executive producers.
And also these guys.
soar on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.